This podcast is part of the Planet Broadcasting Network.
Visit planetbroadcasting.com for more podcasts from our great mates.
This episode is brought to you by CJ, the X album, Be Perfect or Die. But it's more optimistic than that, like it sounds like.
It's pretty bold and I respect it.
Yeah, absolutely. We'll talk about it later.
Red hot comic book movie news, shooting up your butthole. The Weekly Planet, the Weekly Planet.
Welcome back, everybody, to another episode of the Weekly Planet, where we talk movies and comics and TV shows. My name is James, also known as Mr. Sunday. With me, as always, is my co-host Nick. Mason, flawless intro.
I was going to say you're leaving that in. It's good stuff.
Collings will put in a different intro, a better intro.
Nice.
Yeah. He won't, because then this joke won't make sense. Joke? This moment of honesty.
That's right.
Won't make sense.
At this point, this has all been just a series of moments of honesty.
Absolutely.
And in the biggest statement of honesty, we are recording this early. This is this is a Friday Australian time.
That's right, exactly.
Yeah, we had
the
here.
opportunity to get together.
We're in recording zone.
Exactly.
We're in the zone.
We've got our kids out of the house.
That's right.
The kids that Mason and I look after. It's separate from my own kids. We look after an independent group of kids.
That's right. Yeah.
Yeah,
They're
like
always getting in trouble.
Like a rec center kind of situation.
Yeah. I mean, we gave them sticks and hoops
and cigarettes.
That's right. We said get out there and smoke those stogies and play stick and ball.
Yep.
And we'll be back in several hours.
Yes, that's right. Today's. Yeah, Mason, if we're talking brutal honesty, we're going to get into the news. We've got a bunch of delays again, but some things have moved up.
Yep.
Some cancelled series, which I'm not happy about. Trailers, Free Guy, Fatman. What else? Invincible, that's got a trailer.
Oh, yeah, that's right, yeah.
News of Resident Evil.
Oh, casting news, right?
Casting news, that's right. Yeah. Some Sherlock stuff. A bunch of other things going on.
Are we talking Sherlock Cinematic Universe?
Potentially, Mason.
Oh, my God.
And I've got a great name for it. You're going to love it. I've heard a lot of this before the show. I've even written it down. And also maybe some more DC villain-centric movies in the vein of Joker.
Oh, yeah. I cannot wait.
Yeah, that's right. Oh, and The Boys, of course. The Boys is wrapped up, and we'll be talking about
that, yeah.
Time codes if you do want to jump around. I just want to start this by saying before I go...
You want a House of Paint it?
So the winner?
You want to jump around?
Oh, yeah. I do want a House of Paint it. Yeah. I heard that.
Been working on that for years, that joke.
It was good.
Thank you.
You didn't even write it down. I heard that, when you hear things after you hear it.
Yeah, and you go, what? But actually, you've already taken the information in. And then you're like, and then they start to ask the question again, and you're like, shut up.
Actually, I got it.
I got it. Just shh. And then it becomes the thing. And everybody hates you.
Everybody hates you. Speaking of everybody hates me for this comment,
go on.
American dates, they're backwards. They go month, day, year. And it's super fucking confusing because it doesn't make sense on any, why that way? And it's
they would say the Americans would say the same about the rest of the world's date system, which is day, month, year.
Yeah, the rest of the world.
One, then the medium-sized one, and then the biggest one.
The Goldilocks situation or whatever, you know what I mean?
That's right.
It's like a triangle. It's like Maslow's hierarchy of needs.
It's like the Goldilocks situation, and then I would, sometimes I sleep for a day, sometimes a month, but I'd rather be sleeping for a year if I'm honest with you.
Can you imagine?
Yeah.
Would you take sleep for a year? If you could sleep for a year and then not sleep for a year, would you do that?
Ooh.
But does that mean you'd get more tired towards the end of the year?
I wonder, do I have,
You're like, it hits October and you're like, fuck me.
Yeah, I could really do with a year.
Just constantly coffee.
Yeah, maybe, yeah.
No naps, though.
No, well then no. No dice.
Okay,
no naps, no dice.
Yeah. What about then you do it, but you're going to fall asleep sometime in December, but you don't know when, and it's just instantly?
No. I'm on the road a lot.
You're on the road a lot.
Yeah.
I can understand that.
Also, I'd have to call into work and be like, I'm calling in sick for a year. But I can do every shift for this year.
Yes.
I can be awake all the time.
You won't be able to process any of the information subconsciously, which is one of the points of sleep, maybe?
Yeah.
I don't know.
And also that means I'll miss, when does this start?
December.
So I have to be asleep
get your affairs in order.
No, I don't want to do it.
You can miss Christmas.
I could miss Christmas, couldn't I? It's pretty exciting.
Anyway, we'll talk about it after the show.
Okay, cool. All right. Let's not make this an episode entirely about this weird hypothetical situation in which we could be awake for a year and then sleep for a year. Because nobody's ever thought this before.
That's right. There was an X-Files episode about being awake. Let's not.
Okay.
Anyway, the reason I say that is because I put down a lot of dates for movies that have been delayed.
There's also an episode where Mulder and Scully go into virtual reality and fight like a sexy computer lady or something. So.
Around the time of Lawnmower Man, I assume.
Probably, yeah.
And the Virtual Boy.
That's right.
Virtual Boy?
Virtual Boy.
Yeah, very good.
The virtuous boy. That's what I call Mulder, the most virtuous boy.
He was very virtuous, wasn't he? So I've got a lot of dates here for movies that have been delayed.
Dave Duchovny, slightly less virtuous boy.
That's right, yeah, real life, yeah. Delays but not dismays, obviously, because we're keeping it upbeat. Mm-hmm. That's our new segment but this is like, there's so many things being delayed.
Yeah.
But not dismays.
And not just a little bit of a delay, but like we're skipping a year.
Yeah, that's
we're
right.
Going to, the entire cast of the Batman's going to sleep for a year.
Yeah.
And this is your fault, Weekly Planet podcast. You put the idea in their head.
Oh, no. So Jurassic World 3/Jurassic Park 6 has been delayed 1 year to June of 2022. Okay. Currently filming on a bit of a hiatus because
of a Dominion? Or is that something else?
Because of the COVID, there was a COVID scare, so that's been pushed back.
Oh, yeah.
Dune, or is it Dune, has been pushed from December of this year to October of 2021.
It was pointed out on Twitter recently that means this is the first time there's been a year without a Timothée Chalamet movie since 2014 or something like that.
My God, Mason.
He's broken the streak.
Beautiful Boy with
Timothée Chalamet.
That movie? It's called Beautiful Boy with him and Steve Carell. Is that him? Where his son's got drugs. He's like, I've got too many drugs in me. And he's like, you were my beautiful boy.
Then like, a big headline, beautiful boy. Brackets not so beautiful anymore, huh? Steve Carell, question mark.
He might not
and just a smirk emoji.
He might not even be in it.
Because he's always showing off his beautiful boy at school and stuff.
Yeah, like check him out.
Work events.
Look at this guy.
Yeah.
It is Timothée Chalamet.
Oh. I liked him in, what do you like the confidence that I have. I liked him in, was he in Little Women? He was.
I haven't seen it yet.
It's good. Good movie.
I've got it lined up ready to go.
It's free on everything
on multiple
now,
things
so,
forever, yeah. I've seen him in things. He looks like he could have been in Dunkirk. Was he?
I don't think he was in Dunkirk.
He might not have been. He's in Interstellar. That's right, because we talked about him. Oh, he's in The King. He's great in The King. Man. This guy's banging him out, mate.
He was in Dunkirk.
He's in Lady Bird.
Beautiful boy on a boat.
Yeah.
You know, little boys in the boat who were like,
boys in the boat.
We're in a boat. What are we up to? That's right.
Yeah, 2014, you're right. Anyways, so Dune's being pushed back.
Yep.
Probably because of Tenet. Because that didn't do super well.
Yeah.
The Batman has moved from October of next year to March of 2022. The Flash from June 2022 to November of 2022.
Never.
Yeah.
May as well be never.
Shazam, November 2022 to June of 2023.
Oh, that's not even a real year.
It's not a real year. I'll be 40.
Wow.
Maybe?
I'll be somewhere between 21 and 25, or possibly a different age when that happens.
And Black Adam and Minecraft are now undated.
Because they're going to combine them.
Yeah, that's
into
right.
Black Adam versus Minecraft.
Something about bricks, brick of justice, bricks.
Who built the pyramids? The Minecraft boys.
Yeah, that's good.
Those beautiful Minecraft boys. What are they called? Probably
Steve.
Minecraft Steve. Yeah,
there's Steve and there's the other ones.
Yeah.
Some are zombies. I don't really know.
But a little bit of bright news, because obviously delays but not dismays. Apparently, The New Mutants is coming out on streaming in early November, November the 3rd.
And
I think.
Tenet December, I believe. Right. So we can finally see that and do episodes on them.
Good people will love those.
Speaking of things that things as we're doing delays but not dismays.
Yeah.
If things are moved up, I've got a name for that. So we should put a negative slant on it to even things out.
I think so too.
This is moves up, more like booze up, even though they're moving forward and it's better.
Okay.
But it's backwards.
Yeah.
Do you understand what I'm doing? Do you like what I'm doing?
How about moves up, but the rest of the world's a nightmare still?
Yeah, I like that better.
Pretty good, right? Yep.
Because they've still got that negative aspect to it. Yeah, I love that. I love that.
So ultimately neutral.
Yes.
And that's what we want the listeners to be, and ourselves is just neutral on everything.
Correct.
Yeah.
The Matrix 4 has been moved from April of 2022 to December of 2021.
Huh.
So that'll be about, not this time next year, but you know what I mean?
Yeah.
We won't be 40, so we'll be fine.
That's true, yeah.
So that's what's important. And Monster Hunter, April of 2021 to December 30 of this year.
Ooh.
Bold.
Well,
probably terrible. Right? Is that why they're doing it?
Well, I mean, if we know anything from last week's podcast,
yeah,
very enthusiastic fans. They make their own little quizzes, put them on the internet. So they're gonna.
True.
They're gonna lap this up. Maybe there'll be a few new fans.
Let me check.
You, me, and the dog.
Yes. So it's Paul W.S. Anderson, isn't it?
Yes, that's right.
Not Paul Wes Anderson.
Paul Wes Anderson is not a person.
You know what I mean?
Just
you know what I mean.
Wes Anderson.
Wes Anderson. Thank you.
Yeah. Who's Paul Thomas Anderson?
Wow,
that's a different guy as well, right?
Let me check it.
I feel he is also a director.
Yeah, he's a film director. It says.
Great.
He's directed. I recognize this man. There Will Be Blood.
There we go. Yeah, I knew it was.
Holy shit!
And Boogie Nights.
This guy's where it's at, mate.
Yeah.
He was 50, and I nearly went. He's only 50, but like, that's He did. He's
Phantom
Thread.
I knew at the instant I said Paul Thomas Anderson. I'm like, And that's the reason we always confuse him and Paul W.S. Anderson, because one universally produces like well-regarded movies and one universally produces
Resident
movies with
Evil
his
movies.
wife in them.
Yes. Anyway, so Paul W.S. Anderson, I'm just looking at his filmography. So he probably, he did Shopping in 1994, but he broke onto the scene with Mortal Kombat, which some people still consider to be the best video game movie. I think it's most recent Tomb Raider, but, everybody's got their opinions.
Yeah.
He also did Event Horizon. It's a good movie.
Yeah, he did do that.
Which is like Dead Space. He did Dead Space before Dead Space.
Yeah.
Soldier, Resident Evil.
He did a movie in the Blade Runner franchise.
That's right.
Incredible.
Exactly. That's good.
Yeah.
Alien versus Predator, Resident Evil Apocalypse, The Dark, Dead or Alive, DOA : Dead or Alive.
Yeah, it's got Australia's own Holly Valance.
That's right.
And Eric Roberts.
Yes. He did another Resident Evil, Extinction. Then he did Death Race, which I quite like. Pandorum's not bad. You ever seen Pandorum?
It's a spooky horror.
It's on a ship and
space horror.
Dennis
Yeah,
Quaid
I
and someone else. Three Musketeers, there was a reboot of that. Another Resident Evil, Death Race 3. Oh, no, he didn't direct that. He did Pompeii. Remember that? Kit Harington's got great abs.
Don't remember
And he's
it.
running away from a volcano on a horse. So then he did Resident Evil.
So he's on a horse, but he's also running.
He's also running on top
standing
of the horse.
Okay, right.
It's like that. Have you seen that video of the guy on the treadmill jogging? So the treadmill has wheels and goes, and he's
I
jogging on
haven't
the
seen that,
treadmill.
no.
Yeah. Then he did Resident Evil: The Final Chapter, and now he's doing Monster Hunter.
But they're not.
They're not all terrible,
He
is what I'm
hasn't
saying.
been tapped for Resident Evil reboot.
No,
Resident
well,
Evil?
we will talk about that.
Also, just in case people are wondering why there is a Paul Thomas Anderson and a Paul W.S. Anderson, that often means that the name has been taken. So there is actually also just a Paul Anderson. Who is he? He's an actor.
What's he
He's
in?
in Peaky Blinders.
Oh.
He's in He's Anderson in The Revenant, if you've seen The Revenant.
I haven't.
And he's in Sherlock Holmes: A Game of Shadows.
Ooh, yeah,
It's
I know
a face
him.
you go, I know that guy.
Yeah, he's in things.
Yeah.
Yeah. He's probably Irish, maybe. If
He's
Peaky
British,
Blinders,
yes.
okay, there you
Yeah.
go. All right.
But you know him as a guy in an old-timey, new-timey haircut in Peaky Blinders,
Absolutely.
obviously.
He's got a flat cap on.
Yeah.
Yeah. He's often straightening like a vest, like this.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
You know what I mean?
That's right. Yeah, he's adjusting that. Yep. Adjusting
Checking
that waistcoat.
a fob watch. Yeah, okay, cool. Anyway, well, let's talk about Resident Evil. I had that later on the docket, Mason. That's what I'm calling this.
From what I can tell, they've gone, well, it's time to go back to basics. Let's if we're going to license this Resident Evil property, perhaps we should base the movie on the video games from which they came.
It's crazy, right?
It's just crazy enough to work.
Deadline said this is the cast that they've got. So this is a reboot. It's also set in 1998, which is when the first one is set, probably, because that's when it came out, probably.
That's correct, yes.
So Kayla Scodelario, I know her. She's in a bunch of stuff. She's in like Maze Runner. She's in Skins. You've seen her in things.
Yeah.
She's Claire
She's a real
Redfield.
Paul Anderson.
She's
You know
Paul
what I mean?
Anderson in that respect. Robbie Amell is Chris Redfield. People would know as cousin or brother of Stephen Amell.
Well, that's
cousin,
right.
I believe.
And in things. X-Men guys.
X-Men.
If you recall.
Upload.
Yep.
Yeah, that was I like that series. Evan Georgia as Leon S. Kennedy.
Okay.
Who's most famous from Resident Evil 4, but also other games in that. Tom Hopper, who you would know as the Gorilla Guy.
The Umbrella
from,
Academy,
Academy. He's Albert Wesker.
Oh, the dastardly Wesker.
That's right.
Though
I feel like this next guy would be a better Wesker, Neil McDonough.
he would also be
William
a good Wesker.
Birkin. He might be too old to be in Wesker now. Because when Wesker first turns up, he's like a cop and he's like, I'm just like you. And then it turns out he's filled with parasites. And was he always? No, maybe he wasn't initially.
I think initially he's just like a regular guy and he's kind of like, I'm here to help the team.
And then they're like, Wesker, how could you? And he's like,
then midway through like the third one, he's like, I could be part of the team or I could inject myself with all these parasites.
Yeah. You fight him in some of them.
Yeah. See, I feel like Wesker starts out, I feel like Wesker is more of in the games especially, is more of like a squirrely guy, and Tom Hopper is not a squirrely guy, but maybe he starts out like he's meant to, maybe this early one, he's meant to be one of the good guys with a sinister twist.
Squirrely, as in eating nuts?
Yeah.
I love it, Mason. We talked about moves up.
Who's cast as Alice? My favorite video game character, Alice, from Resident Evil.
I don't know if there is an Alice. Is Alice in any of the video games at all ever?
I don't believe so.
Never like a reference.
I don't think so, but I mean,
I bet you're wrong because
I bet I am wrong.
Spin-offs.
I bet I am.
Alice.
Yeah.
So this news is called.
It's probably like an insulting reference, like the Japanese game developers of like 6 are just like,
I don't mind that character though.
Alice sucks, piece of graffiti.
Yeah, but I don't mind that character though. I think she's good,
I
right?
guess.
Like she's doing what is she supposed to do?
Not exist.
No, I mean like in the movies, like you know what I mean? She's doing the thing that she's
Oh yeah, for
supposed
sure.
to do.
Yeah, that's true.
This news, because I'm labeling everything, I guess.
It just seems odd that they went. It just seems odd, James, that they gave us a weird point of view character who's not in the games, and then they just kept bringing in the main characters from the games as minor characters, and then recasting them sometimes. And
Yeah.
and bringing them in and out. You know,
There's a million Alice clones or whatever.
Yeah.
I remember. Anyway, this news is called Glow is cancelled and fuck. So
that's annoying, isn't it?
The final and fourth season it's over COVID. They're just not doing it.
Yeah, and apparently they filmed one episode.
Oh, boo!
So there's an episode out there in the can, as it were. Probably not, you know.
I wouldn't be surprised if maybe they come back as like an El Camino style.
Yeah, maybe.
Finish things. I mean, also I wouldn't be surprised if
They all move on to other things. Yeah.
That's a massive shame. That's a great show.
Yeah.
And it evolves in really interesting ways. And season 3, a bit of a cliffhanger and whatever.
And it's based on a real thing.
And it's based on a real thing. Mark Maron, right?
That's right. Exactly. His life.
Incredible stuff. But so that's a real shame. But it might not be the end forever. People campaign and whatever. But I feel like people campaign less these days, don't they?
Yeah. And it's also one of those things where so many of the cast, you know, from
Are dead.
Yeah, absolutely. And
I mean, we're recording Friday. Who knows what happens over the weekend?
that so many of them, you know, they're in such demand. Like someone like Alison Brie or Marin at this point, or you know, or a bunch of them are just like, okay, how the schedule works is you film this show and then you do a movie and then you've got another show coming up, kind of thing. So if you miss that window to film season 4 of Glow, then you have to immediately go on to voicing an animated series or something like that.
Yeah.
So they can't just go, okay, well, let's all reconvene in a month and do this because everybody else is busy doing other stuff.
Like Betty Gilpin's quite famous now off the back of this. Yeah. But she was like, that's the best thing I've ever done.
Yeah.
You know, that's a shame.
The young promoter guy is probably going to be in a Veronica Mars, you know.
What's her name? Emily is in Paris.
Yeah.
She'll be in that or something. She'll be in that or something.
Yeah.
Anyway, have you seen any of that show?
No. What's that mean?
Bad.
What is it about? Explain to me what it's about. James, explain it to me like I'm an idiot.
She goes to Paris and it's that thing of
The
like...
woman Emily.
Yeah, and like everyone in France is awful and she's awful.
Okay.
And it's just, maybe it gets better, but it's like there's, you know, I feel like...
Is it a period piece? Or
No, it's like now. She's like, she's got one of those jobs...
Now, during the COVID?
Yeah,
no
she
wonder
got one
they're
of
so mean to her.
those jobs that like... They're
Architect.
TV show jobs where it's like, I'm the social media liaison for like a whatever, you know what I mean? And
Soda company,
I know they exist, obviously. They're like real jobs, but it's like, I don't know. It's just, it feels very cliche.
Okay,
but also perfect to like put on and be like, just let that run.
Is it like, if you think about it for a second, is it like just the plot of Emma or something like that? Like it's just
like
a classic novel and they've just gone,
well, it's
but
Darren's,
now she's social media Emma.
it's Darren's Star.
It sounds very old school.
It is.
Like
it
it's
is.
like, oh, she's
feels,
in a new city and what romances are going to spring
Yeah,
from this
exactly.
kind of
It's like Toothless and Harmless and...
Okay, great.
Which is, all these things, like, it's fine. It's just like not something I want to watch right now.
Okay.
I want to watch The Road again and again to prepare
That's right,
myself
yeah.
for the future.
Yeah. You just watch every frame of the road. You're looking in that shopping cart. What's he put in it? Okay, duct tape. Put some duct tape in the shopping cart.
Cool.
Ready to go.
Fill your gun with fake bullets so they don't know you've only got one bullet. Got it.
Blind yourself, Book of Eli.
Yeah, that's right.
Got to be ready.
Free Guy has a new trailer where it's like, when's it coming out?
Who knows?
We don't know. Probably not this
You know
year.
what?
Yeah.
This one convinced me it will probably be a good fun movie. I really like
I
this
think they
trailer.
showed too much.
You think so?
Yeah.
Yeah, we kind of get like in...
I agree though. I think it looks good.
Did we know already that Taika Waititi was in this? Have I learned that on the podcast and I've forgotten it?
I don't
Because
know.
I was like, whoa, Taika Waititi's in this.
Yeah, I don't know, to be honest. Because they're mates.
Yeah.
They work together on Green Lantern.
I was going to say they're finally doing a movie together. But yeah, so I see where we're
their
going.
joke that they do, yeah. But I don't know whether I knew that he was in this. I have no idea.
But this seems to be, so we've got the guy from Stranger Things.
Yes.
And the girl, and they're software developers.
Yep.
And they seem to put...
Again, another not real job.
Software developers. Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
That's obviously not true. So good.
No, you just these days you just copy and paste sprites into a box of software and it makes a game for you.
That being said, I don't want to discourage people because, this week they passed some legislation in Australia where they make certain jobs easier to get. So, like, they're funneling like students into specific
Oh.
roles because it's like now nursing and teaching and some others are like
Really
cheaper.
expensive.
No, cheaper.
Oh.
And then like other things like more artistic, they're like, well, that's expensive because we need people in this. But it's like,
once you get
fucking funnel people into.
But once you get a
It's
job,
horrible.
once you get a job in the arts, you'll make that money back really quick, and you can pay that loan off.
But here's the thing, though, like you can make money from it,
Yes.
and I think if they put money into it and encouraged it, there is money in it. It's a fucking enormous industry, but they keep stripping money out of it, and like you know what I mean. And incentives like this, it's like, well, I guess I won't be a writer. I guess I don't know, be a teacher. Gross, I said.
Yuck.
Yeah. For those people that don't know, I was a teacher until very recently.
And every day you were like, yuck. I
hate
I'd be like,
this.
James, how was your day today? And you'd be like, yuck.
Yuck! I want to be a writer.
Ooh,
I
that's
said.
right. Yeah.
Anyway,
Free Guy.
Free Guy, yeah.
So anyway, they seem to develop some sort of artificial intelligence thing, and they put it into the game, and then the Free Guy becomes sentient. I think is how that is going. Yeah.
That's right. I'm very proud of this. This might be my best achievement. If you go to Ryan Reynolds' YouTube page where he posted it, I had the top comment with 1,700 likes. And my comment is Wreck-It Reynolds. And I'm like, I wish it was better. Like I wish I thought of something better. But I'm playing, I'm trying to appeal to everybody. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
That's how you get a top comment. You play it safe.
Yeah. What about Deadpool Space Invaders?
That would work.
Kiss your top comment goodbye, baby.
Are you going to put that in?
No.
You should do it. Get people to go and find it and then
And they like
see
it.
if they can get it.
All right, we'll see how we go.
You should totally do that.
All right, I'll do it in a
And
minute.
then
God.
do it, and then I want people to go and maybe do it on Sunday.
Okay.
But set a reminder on your phone. So by the
Okay.
time when this goes out, people can.
When this goes live.
Yeah, well, or it'll be a bit earlier for people like bigsandwich.co if they want.
So I'll reply to. Should I reply to your comment?
No, because there's already replies.
Your comment,
You need your own
okay.
comment. I'm going to go in. I'm helping too, Mason.
This is great stuff.
Yeah.
This is great stuff.
Yeah.
We're making history here, people. But yeah, as far as the trailer goes, like I feel it really, obviously the premise is that it's in a
GTA, whatever.
yeah, Grand Theft Auto-esque world, but it kind of really gets across the idea of like just you're trying to get stuff done and you're just surrounded by idiots parachuting in and shooting missiles at your car as you're trying to do a mission.
Absolutely.
And all that sort of stuff.
Yeah, totally.
But they seem to have like got the mechanics right. Like there's a bit where like the main character shoots a rocket at a car and then the rocket launcher just disappears and she can switch weapons.
Yeah, it's cool.
Yeah, it is cool.
I'm not sure how it works in terms of like you playing the game and being in the game.
Yeah.
And how that works and how do they solve it at the end? Because he's not going to get out of the game, is
He'll
he?
be on a USB.
Yeah, but like, do they meet in a virtual world?
Yeah, maybe.
And she's like, this is the real world. And he's like, love is real or whatever. You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
And they look at a pixelated sunrise. Or
You're reading from the script. There you are. Give me that script. Wow, Taika Waititi falls on his butt.
yeah, he would.
And
On
then-
his smoothie.
That's right.
On his frappuccino.
And then a manure truck opens up and it dumps all over his desk. Is it his desk? I don't know what happened.
Is it his desk? Yeah, absolutely. It's the kind of movie where he wouldn't learn a lesson. He just gets his comeuppance, right?
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, okay. We also had a trailer for Fatman where it's
Yeah,
Mel
this is a
Gib-
surprise trailer.
Yeah, which is, I'd heard of this, like,
And prior to this,
Years ago, maybe?
really?
Yeah.
Is it that long in the making?
well, yeah, they made it. So
Well,
yeah,
no, that's-
often these things
is it one of those things where it was like an unproduced script for a while? Maybe
I have no idea. You
But
might
yeah,
be right.
prior to we both watched this, and then prior to this episode, we both did some frantic scrolling on our phones and research, trying to find out if there's a way we can enjoy this, despite the fact that Mel Gibson is in it. Well, like, did he apologize for all the horrible things he said? What did he do? What
Sort
did he
of.
say? Sort of. The answer is sort of. We don't know.
So
Because again, like we said, he's been in. He
and
makes,
he's obviously talented.
Yeah.
yeah. But anyway, but
he
this,
made some apologies.
he made some apologies,
like 10 years
10
ago.
years
or
ago, or
something.
whatever. Yeah. But so
Anyway, the premise basically
Yeah,
is
so he's
that
Santa.
he is a Santa Claus of sorts.
yeah.
Who is somewhere between magical and mundane.
Yep.
It's hard to say.
Because he's got the flying sleigh and
Yeah.
whatever, but
But then a disappointed kid who receives a lump of and that's
he also might be a killer,
he certainly
like a
seems to be
contract killer
proficient
of
with
sorts on his own. or-
It's a very intriguing premise. I saw a lot of tweets that were like, "Why has nobody thought of this before?" So
Okay.
or like, "This is insane and I can't believe it's real." But yeah, so like a disappointed child receives a lump of coal for Christmas because they were a bad kid, and then gets our fan favorite Walton Goggins.
I love him.
Wally Goggs he hires him to put a hit on Santa Claus. So
It seems, and they had that showdown.
Yeah.
Where it's like, it's like you think you're the only one who's come after me. Like, presumably he's like the original Saint Nick.
Yeah, or
I
maybe
guess.
maybe this is a Santa Claus sequel.
Could be but yeah, it could be. But if he's got all, but I figure like if he's got the flying sleigh and the elves, he's probably magic.
Yeah.
Like immortal magic.
Yeah.
Or to some extent.
Yeah.
Speaking of things, immortal magic, Tom Cruise.
Hang on, what else happens in that trailer? Anything?
It
looks good though.
It looks good. It looks like, I don't know.
If anybody has any exonerating evidence towards the horrible behavior of Mel Gibson, send it towards us so we can watch this with a clear conscience.
And not the recent allegations again that have resurfaced.
Oh,
from
what?
various
God
other
damn
people.
it. It's off again. All
of
right.
older things that he's done. Yeah. But Tom Cruise has been spotted on a train.
Yeah.
And I said this and
I'm on a train, everyone.
On a train. So I ride a train. I sit on the roof.
That's right.
It's in Crucible, obviously.
It's absolutely in Crucible.
So it seems as if that... Because we mentioned this when we did the Mission Impossible movies, the first 3 for Caravan of Garbage. We're doing Dreads at the moment, aren't we?
Yeah.
The Dreads coming up this week. The second one. You know what I mean?
Side note, we got an email this week and it's been pointed out there is a place in England where somebody just has one of the yellow Judge Dredd cabs just sitting in their front yard.
Oh.
Yeah.
What is
great.
it? Like couples get their wedding photos taken in front of it?
I guess so. I mean, it's behind a fence, so hang on. Here's an email. This is from Declan.
Is it a real car?
I don't think so.
Or is it a shell?
I think it's a shell.
Yeah.
This is from Declan. Hi guys, first time, long time, etc. Always wanted a good reason to email. I live in Didsbury, Greater Manchester, and a few minutes down the road is another bit of Manchester called Fallowfield. In Fallowfield, one of the Judge Dredd city cabs is just sat out in front of someone's house. It's very weird and makes no sense. It's dirty, the grass is growing up around it, and I just don't understand anything. But if you go on Google Street View, you can click, it's 5 Maldith Road, Fallowfield, Manchester, and it's just there.
Don't go to this guy's house.
Or do go to this guy's house.
No, Mason.
Go to in front of his house and do some double peace signs in front of the Judge Dredd cab.
I say.
And then get shot at, presumably.
Because he's a lunatic who owns...
Yeah. Can Declan be the official displaced Irishman of the show? Absolutely.
So I guess this was filmed...
If you do a photo in front of the thing with the double peace signs. No, it's fine. Do whatever you want.
So presumably this was filmed in... Where did you say it was? Ireland? England?
Manchester.
Manchester. Okay. Right?
Yeah, maybe.
Because he's not shipping that, is he? Is my point.
No. Okay, here's another thing that he's pointed out. And this is because I've seen that circulated on Twitter this recently, but I'm saying where's your fresh content?
I've never heard of such a thing.
P.S. I was poking around on the history button of Street View in front of the house. They seem to have a different concept car I don't recognise in 2016. So this is some lunatic collecting concept cars. Look at this. What is this? What do you think this is?
All right,
Coming around.
That looks so familiar.
Right.
What is that?
It's like a.
It looks like it could be Dread 2012. It's not.
Yeah, it's like an
ATV.
It's like an at least 6-legged ATV, 6-wheeled ATV, and it's like grey on the top, and it's got like red red trim in it. Yeah, it looks very Mega City 1-esque, doesn't it? But
maybe it is Dread. Maybe
he collects Dread vehicles.
Like the first one, because I don't remember seeing the only concept stuff, like future vehicle stuff they really made were the bikes.
Yeah, mm-hmm.
And if you made something like that, you'd put it in the movie,
right? Yeah.
If anyone knows that.
I'm gonna screenshot it and then
Please
we'll find
do.
out with the guy's address on it.
The guy's address on it.
Yeah.
Should we move on to a different topic?
Let's move on to a different topic. Anyway,
so Tom Cruise, sorry, yeah. So when we were doing Caravan of Garbage for Mission Impossible, I think one of us said, maybe both of us at the same time, Jinx, that if they had have done that train thing in the first Mission Impossible now, they would have filmed it for real. And it seems like that
he did film it for real.
Now
yeah.
very much what's happening.
Oh, I see. Right. Yeah.
So, but that also leads us into an article that you sent me this week.
Did I?
About
that one. Yes. Okay. Sure. In jest.
About so it's Tom Cruise and Nicole Kidman. It's Nicole reflecting on their relationship.
A rare Nicole Kidman Tom Cruise relationship retrospective.
Yeah, and it wasn't scathing or anything like that. No. She was very nice about him because I know there's been some speculation about Scientology and their kids and what went on between them, but. Basically, it was around the time of Eyes Wide Shut.
Yes.
And
sexy movie.
You can help me fill in the gaps here, but they filmed all day
and
night with Stanley Tucci.
Yes.
No, with Stanley.
Go on.
What's his name? Stanley
Kubrick.
Stanley Kubrick. And then at 3 a.m. they would go-karting.
Yes. Rare
And we were trying to
insight.
figure out, like, is that some insane, like, celebrity shit? Like,
Is it just what they did as a couple?
yeah,
It
like,
seems
what's
odd, right?
going on there, do you think?
Yeah.
Yeah.
We were happily married through that. We would go go-kart racing after those scenes, those sexy scenes. We'd rent out a place and go racing at 3 a.m. I don't know what else to say. Well, I don't know what else to say either, Nicole.
You've got us at a loss.
Yeah, that's right.
But I remember, like...
400 days constant shooting, that movie.
Oh, God. And again, as I was saying before, I haven't actually seen it in its entirety. How good is it? Like, really? Do you know what I mean?
I
like,
don't
is
know
it
anymore.
worth doing 400 days in a row?
No, well, that's the thing. Like, that's one of those things where so many actors and directors have since, for such a long time, people were like, oh my God, Kubrick, the consummate director. Like, he's a director's director. And he just got everything to, perfect. Everything was perfect.
He
kind of
would
thing.
yell at Shelley Duvall until she
Yeah, right.
broke
But
down.
I think there seems to have been a change in the last couple of years where so many actors and directors and stuff have just, when asked about Kubrick, have said, that's a weird, like, his strategy seemed to be like make somebody do 100 takes of something until they snap.
Yeah, exactly.
And then that's the raw emotion. But you don't necessarily need raw emotion in every scene.
Actors are quite good also.
Yeah.
Like, they could probably do that by themselves.
Yeah, a lot of people nowadays are like, that's a terrible way to direct a movie.
Yeah, absolutely. But it's a different era of filmmaking. You know what I mean?
Yes.
Yeah. I'm excited for Eyes Wide Shut. I'm
For you
excited
watching
to check it out.
Okay, cool.
You know what I mean? Sexiness and masks.
Yeah, for sure.
I'm into it. I mean, if I was really into it, I guess I would have seen it already.
Yeah.
I'm just being polite. I'm not that into it, if I'm honest.
And it's okay. Well, Kubrick is actually dead, so you don't have to watch it out
That's
of
true.
politeness
He was going to
anymore.
make the movie AI, and then he didn't. We talked about that recently, didn't we?
Yeah.
Great stuff. Mason, we got
Go
more
on.
news, though.
Oh!
Let me just scroll up to my news. So news, right? You've
Yeah,
seen
I'm
news.
listening. Go on.
We've got more trailers. Specifically, there's a trailer for Invincible.
Yeah, animated series.
So it matches the art style very close.
Yeah.
It adheres. It's like quite minimalistic, like the
Yeah,
art.
like the thumbnail on YouTube just looks like a panel from the
It
comic
does.
book. Maybe it is.
Maybe it is. We don't know.
Mm.
It's got a great cast. We've talked about it before. I was trying to look into how many episodes it is, and the only thing I could find is on IMDb. It's got 8 listed.
Okay.
So
That's an Amazon amount of episodes.
Yeah, I thought. I mean, does that mean they're like 40 minutes to an hour though?
Oh.
Do you know what I mean?
No way of knowing.
I don't know either. Mm-hmm. I would have preferred like a 10 or even a 22.
Okay, sure.
You know, one a comic.
Okay.
I don't know that.
Well,
that
you're not
would
stumping
work
up the money for this, are you? So
No, but it's Amazon, so like
in a way we are, aren't we?
we are, and
Yeah.
in a way, like this is literally nothing to them.
What should happen is when you subscribe to Amazon Video, they should let you like select a series and you can force it to 22 episodes if you want.
Just keep clicking.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's out next year, 2021. I'm very excited for this because I love the comic series. It's out in its entirety, which you can check it out. It's Robert Kirkman, who's behind The Walking Dead. I think this is also a smart way to do this series because if you've read it, there's a lot of things that would be hard to do in a series. Like
Yes.
we'll talk about The Boys later, but The Boys is more minimal than you'd think in terms of action.
Right.
You know what I mean? And Invincible is insane. It's just like
Yeah.
aliens and buildings falling down and like insane superpowers all the time, you know? So, so I think this is a really good way to do it. And, it's got a great cast behind it as
Yeah.
well. Stephen Yeun is the lead. And
J.K. Simmons as Dad.
in as well. I think Seth Rogen is Alan the Alien maybe or something like that.
Cool.
I can't remember he's behind it with Evan Goldberg. But yeah, really good stuff. Speaking of animated things though, the Hollywood Reporter is saying that the She-Ra series creator Noelle Stevenson is going to be working on the animated series for Lumberjanes.
Oh,
An
love
adaptation
Lumberjanes,
of that,
yeah.
I need to get back into that. I read a few and then I stopped for whatever reason, and I need to keep reading it.
Was there a screaming child?
There's a screaming child in the comic, and I said I can't attend to this. I've got my own screaming child. So yeah, how much of this have you read?
No, maybe the first volume.
Yeah,
I
right,
think
cool.
so.
So yeah, I really like the art style as well. So I think that would translate very well.
It's very like it's not very, but it's sort of Adventure Time
Yeah,
kind of like
Steven Universe.
Steven Universe.
Maybe.
Gravity Falls.
Gravity Falls.
Yeah.
Presidents at School. What's that show? Clone
Clone
High.
High,
Yeah,
yes.
there we go. Great stuff. Did someone say shared Lockiverse?
Is that what we're going with?
That's what we're going with. Shared lock. Shared.
Oh, okay. No, I see where you're
Come
going
on,
with
it
that.
works.
Yeah, okay,
Does that
yep.
not work?
Ooh.
I've even parceled it out. You know what I mean? Isn't in 3 sections. Shared lock averse.
It's a bit of a mouthful, but maybe the longer we say it,
Exactly.
the worse it will get.
Marvel Cinematic Universe became MCU, so this could become the SLA.
Okay,
Sly.
sure.
Right? Right?
Yeah, the Slar.
Oh my God. Okay, so Robert Downey Jr.
Yes.
is like, this is bloody prime. This is primo.
Okay, yeah.
To get some stuff happening.
Yeah.
Is this what he says about the shared Lockerverse?
Okay.
At this point, see?
It's catching on already, yeah. I nearly didn't wince when you said it then.
Nearly.
I'm nearly normalized with it. So that's great.
At this point, we really feel like there is not a mystery verse built out anywhere. And Conan Doyle is the definitive voice in that arena, I think, to this day. So to me, why do a third movie if you're going to be able to spin off into some real gems of diversity and other times and elements? We think there's an opportunity to build it out more. Spin off characters for a third movie to see what's going on in the television landscape, to see what Warner Media is starting to build out, things with HBO and HBO Max.
Here's the thing, though.
Yes.
If you do a shared lock universe or whatever you said it was,
Yep.
and it's all about...
That's bet. Shared Lock Universe. Shared Lockerverse. Yeah. Sorry, go on.
Okay, great. If you do that and you say, okay, well, it's a bunch of mystery solvers in Holmes era England,
Yeah.
he's the best one.
But he said different
So everybody
times.
else is worse.
He said
Okay,
different
right.
times. So maybe just like son of Sherlock.
Okay, sure.
Dog of Sherlock.
Sherlock. Sherlock Bones.
It's good. Mm-hmm. Sherlock's bones after he's dead.
Yeah.
They're magic. And they just walk around like a magic
Great,
skeleton.
yeah, like a
helping people.
skeleton, sure.
Sherlock.
Sherlock the crime-solving skeleton, brackets, he's dead. Yes.
Sherlock's dad. It's just his dad.
Nice.
He's not a crime solver. But that's okay.
Yeah.
Because
He
it's
just drinks mostly.
Yeah, you just-
He works down the coal mine and he drinks.
But also, like, off the back of this, we've just had Enola Holmes, which is
That's
quite
true,
popular.
yeah. Uh-huh.
We
But
also
he didn't have anything to do with that.
nothing to do with
Downey
that
Jr.,
because
right?
it was Cavill
Yeah.
as well.
Uh-huh. But he and Susan Downey, his wife,
Hmm.
their production company, I believe, produced the Perry Mason series that came out recently.
Shared Lockerverse.
Shared Lockerverse.
Are you
exactly.
saying
I'm saying that Perry Mason and Sherlock Holmes are going to communicate through a time portal in a magnifying glass. That's how they're going to do this. A haunted magnifying glass, and Perry Mason's going to be like, I can't solve this crime, even though I'm a lawyer, I think. But I've got to solve crimes, but I don't know how. If only there was someone from the past who could... And then it's going to be like... Ooh,
someone with worse knowledge of
the modern day, yeah, who doesn't know nothing about DNA or nothing.
Is Perry Mason set in the modern day?
This one is... Wait, I don't know.
Because doesn't he wear
I
a
think it
hat?
is.
I've got a picture of him wearing a hat.
I'm going to look
and
it
I'm
up.
like,
I feel...
that's not a very
I have not
modern
watched
hat.
it yet. Let's have a look.
But also, as I was saying though, while you're looking that up,
Yes.
we just had that there's 2 Sherlock Holmes series.
That's true.
The Cumberbatch one obviously is wrapped up. The other one,
Okay, it's set in 1932.
okay, there you go.
Okay, right.
You could join him in.
The technology for the haunted
Sherlock
magnifying
could-
glass is still around.
But
so-
Sherlock could be alive also, or Sherlock Bones.
Yeah,
He's just
that's true.
Bones.
Yeah, yeah.
It's like I've come to help you,
there was a Batman comic, I think, from the
Yeah.
70s or 80s, maybe.
honey.
Yeah, he keeps himself alive. Sherlock Holmes keeps himself alive through the royal jelly of,
Yes.
of the bees. Like he survived into the modern day.
I recently watched the Ian McKellen one where he's like his brain is failing,
Okay.
and he's trying to solve an old mystery.
Oh yeah.
Which I quite like. So yeah,
Cool.
I think he's right. There is something. I think they're right to do a third one.
Yeah.
I think it might not be the best idea to spin this off into a million series.
No, spin it off into a million series. Bring back Daryl Zero, Bill Pullman from the movie Zero Effect.
I don't know what that is.
He's a modern day Sherlock Holmes type character.
Is he Sherlock Holmes?
No, his name's Daryl Zero.
Did he give himself that name?
It sounds like a made up
Is it
name.
because he's got a
But if you-
0% strike rate?
Yeah.
He's literally never right.
That's right.
That's how they solve crimes.
But
They're like,
also-
what does Daryl Zero think? We'll
Just
do the opposite. Yeah.
And that's how you get away with crimes as well. What would Daryl Zero do in this situation? What clues would he search for? Okay, cool. Well, let's do something else. Yeah, I don't know, but also if that's a made up name, why would you choose Daryl?
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
maybe he keeps his first name. I
Yeah,
don't know.
what's his face is in it? Ben Stiller.
When
No,
was
too
this?
bad.
When?
1998.
Okay, I was going to say, this is like,
Bill
is it a comedy?
Pullman and Ben Stiller. It's like a mystery comedy kind of thing. It's pretty good. I remember it being pretty good.
I bet it's not.
I bet it is good. I bet it's good. It was produced by Jake Kasdan, the king of the 90s. So obviously it's going to be good.
What is Jay Kasdan about?
Bring back Harry Crumb, the John Candy character from Who is Harry Crumb?
He's dead. I
You
mean,
bring
the
him back,
character
though.
you could bring back. Yeah,
Yes,
yeah.
bring him back as
You think you have John Kasdan?
what did I say?
You said Jake Kasdan.
I said Jake Kasdan, yeah.
Yeah. But he wasn't king of the 90s because he's 45 now.
Oh, okay, right.
Yeah.
Then I don't know.
I don't know either.
He directed it though. Maybe it's a different Jake Kasdan. Maybe it's a different Kasdan. It doesn't matter.
It's not about Kasdan's. Yeah, his brother's. Yeah, he's the son of Lawrence Kasdan. Yeah, who wrote Empire Strikes Back.
Oh.
Which you think is the worst Star Wars movie. So listen, isn't that right? That's what you said.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
So that's it, I think, about this.
Other famous detectives. Let's bring them all back.
Yeah.
Nero Wolfe, bring him in.
I don't know who that is.
He's a guy. He's like he's a big bloke, and he's got a. They're all the same.
You know what I like?
It's an eccentric bloke, and he's got a weird sidekick. They're all the same.
Because he's rich enough to not have to have a real job. I get it.
The universe should be called Weird Bloke with
Another guy.
Weird bloke and another guy shared universe. Yeah.
Weird bloke and a really tolerant guy.
That's right.
That he picks on.
Yeah. Who's okay with being called like a Nimrod every couple of episodes. You know? Hey, it's me, the famous detective, and his dumb friend who I bring along for the heavy lifting.
So, do you remember there was a Hound of the Baskervilles?
Yes. Go on.
It was with Rupert...
Everett.
Yeah.
Really?
I think it was Everett.
Okay.
He's from My Best Friend's Wedding, right?
Yeah, that's Rupert Everett.
So I think it was what's his name? It was Watson was he's in fucking Van Helsing. He's a bad guy in Van Helsing.
Richard Roxburgh.
Yeah, I think so.
Huh. They should bring back Mitchell and Webb as the version of Sherlock Holmes and Watson. Is that the version of Holmes and Watson where the two actors were so
Yes.
they were so egotistical that they couldn't choose who was going to be. They couldn't agree on who was going to be Holmes and Watson, so they switch every scene.
They switch, yeah, exactly. Every time the camera would cut,
Yeah.
It is him. So at the start of that, it was like a telly movie or whatever that came out in like the early 2000s, early to mid 2000s. Sherlock's not there, and it's just Watson, and I'm like, this is quite interesting.
Yeah, of course.
Because
Yeah,
Watson, like, he's smart and he's personable, but he's not Sherlock. And it was kind of, and then when Sherlock did turn up, it was like a cool reveal that he was also in it, obviously, because of course he is. But it was nice to get like, I like Watson. I've always thought he was a more relatable character to me because I'm more that level of intellect.
Sure, right?
I'm a real Jerry, is what I'm saying, Mason.
Yeah, I understand.
Yeah. Anyway, I liked that.
How about this? Team up Holmes and Poirot. How about that?
That's good.
Right?
What about Knives Out, Daniel Craig?
Yeah. What about Lord Peter Wimsey?
I don't know who that is.
I don't know either. It's just on a list of detectives I have here. Oh, what about, what's the name of that?
Murder, She Wrote?
Yeah, Murder, She Wrote.
Angela Lansbury.
Mrs. Murder, She Wrote. What about that there's always a bunch of like crime-solving priests.
Oh, okay.
You know, there's always one of those.
I don't think priests should be solving
No, I
any
don't know.
crimes.
They've got a vested interest in letting some crimes go, I think you'll find. Yeah.
Yeah, so, you know, that's all good stuff, I think.
Yeah.
Should we move on to the next bit of news?
Both of David Tennant's characters from Broadchurch and Grace Point.
Nice.
They could team them up, right?
Parallel dimensions? Or one's just American? It's just like,
Well, remember when...
I'm your American cousin.
Remember when...
They switch.
Yes.
They have to solve crimes. It's like when the guy from fucking
Is it a
Heartbeat was a Canadian Mountie. Nobody knows what I'm talking about. Don't worry
Due
about
South.
it. Was that what that was called?
Father Brown. Look, Father Dowling. Look, what I'm saying is that we could either do a Freaky Friday situation or we could do like when the American and UK officers crossed over. Remember that when Michael
Briefly,
Scott
yeah,
and
yeah.
what's his face?
Yeah.
David
Brent, yeah.
David Brent, they crossed over.
I remember.
But yeah, it's just both David Tennants meet. And they're like, wow, we both solved a weird grim mystery in a seaside town when we were escaping our own town because of the botched investigation from last time when we let that person die.
Let's swap.
Let's swap. Swapsies.
And then you don't have to do all that split screen shit.
Yeah.
Like,
Solve separate mysteries.
Yeah,
That's
that's
fine.
fine. Great stuff.
Cool.
All right, last bit of news, Mason. This is from the Wizarding World panel from producer Michael E. Uslan, who you might know.
Batman producer, long-time Batman
That's
producer.
right.
Yeah.
And he also produced
I don't know.
Joker.
Did he? Oh, he must have done, yeah.
And
'cause
this is what he said.
He's got his dirty hands in all those ones.
And as he should. He's done some good stuff.
That's true, yeah.
He says, one of my favorite episodes of Batman the Animated Series, which I love, absolutely love, dealt with Mr. Freeze and the loss of his wife.
Yes.
The empathy, the emotion that created, I could see like that becoming a movie. I don't disagree.
Yeah.
Batman, again, is pretty integral in this story.
No.
But
No.
I could
James,
see
no,
why,
no.
though, that would be the next logical step, but also maybe not famous enough.
No, people know Mr. Freeze.
Yeah, but
Schwarzenegger.
he's not Joker, though, is he?
He's Mr.
Like-
Freeze. Okay, do we call it Freeze or do we just call it Mr.?
Freeze, and it's just a guy with his hands up.
Okay, yes.
People don't understand that then. Should we do a different thing?
Well, he's out in the snow and he's shivering and he's like, ooh.
And it's like The Shining when Jack Nicholson
Yeah,
froze
yeah,
in
exactly.
The Shining.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
I bet Kubrick didn't yell at Jack Nicholson.
You think so? No. I would imagine they would have big shouting matches.
Yeah, but I mean, fine. Then that's more of a level playing field, I guess.
Yeah, that's
isn't
true.
it?
Yeah,
You know what I mean?
Yeah, he wouldn't have shouted at the big star.
Yeah. I'm just saying. I don't know that for a fact.
Right.
Kubrick, if you can hear us.
Tell us what it's like in hell. You know, this is fine. Let us know.
I'm sure he had his demons.
Yeah.
Poking him up the butt with a big pitchfork. Okay. That's all the news, though.
That's all the news. Wow.
Do you love music, Mason?
Yeah.
Do you love rapper and hip-hop albums?
I do, yeah.
I say as a
actually.
man who's obviously a fan of those genres. One genre?
It was the way you said it that made me think you are a real fan of those genres.
That's what I thought. Well, listen, Mason, there's a new album actually from Toronto rapper and producer CJ and the X. It's just been released. It's called, all caps, Be Perfect or Die.
I love it.
That's
a
right.
bold statement. That's incredible.
Agreed. It explores harsh topics such as addiction, mental health, and social isolation. It's armed with intense, energetic tracks and reflective songwriting. CJ the X challenges you to rethink the stigmas around self-destructive behavior in an attempt to revitalize compassion and understanding for the suffering among us.
We need a bit of compassion.
I was going to
right
say,
now.
isn't this
Yeah.
the perfect opportunity to revitalize some compassion?
Yes.
Bunch of pricks out there, mate, is what
That's
I'm
right.
saying.
That's right.
So, yeah, get this into your bloody life. It's actually available now on Spotify, Apple Music, and all other streaming platforms. Listen loud, hashtag BPD Gang. And you might be like, why are we talking about this particular guy? Well, I'll tell you why. This is Ben's brother.
Ah,
Ben the editor. Ben is a multi-talented man. You probably know this.
I do, absolutely.
Filmmaker in addition to artist, in addition to singer-songwriter.
That's right.
His brother is also a Renaissance man. And this album...
Why did they get all the talent and we got none of the talent?
We
How
got
did that happen?
podcasting. We got podcasting.
Yeah, fair enough.
They could probably do that too, though.
Probably do that, yeah.
But give it a listen. It's really terrific. And again, it's the perfect time to do this as well.
Absolutely.
On with the show?
Yes.
Wish we had some talent.
It'd be good, wouldn't it?
Yeah, it'd be great.
Oh, you can push that big button.
I missed.
He genuinely actually missed. That's incredible.
Should we talk about The Boys?
So, The Boys, it's just wrapped up. So, some spoilers for The Boys.
Spoilers for The
We'll
Boys.
definitely get into some spoilers for The Boys.
I think because, look, this show is available now. If you've either seen it or you haven't.
Yeah.
I think maybe we should just do all spoilers. Might be a bit easier.
I think, yeah, definitely, yeah.
Okay,
but it's
cool.
I enjoyed this one a lot.
It's a good fun time.
Yeah.
I had a question for you, though.
Go on.
About this before we really get stuck into
Okay.
The Boys and our beautiful critical analyses that we do.
That's right, yes.
How did you feel having this parceled out to you week to week as opposed to one block?
I enjoyed it a lot.
Do you think that added to your enjoyment of the series?
Yes, I think it did. Like,
Okay.
but again, even in the sense that even if we weren't talking about it on a podcast, but like in previous years when we've gotten all the Netflix Marvel stuff all in one go, like where it's been a massive rush to watch it all over a weekend so we could talk about it on a podcast.
Yeah.
Just there's a certain amount of social pressure to like watch
Totally.
it all. So when the articles come out and people start tweeting spoilers and stuff like that,
Podcasts.
yeah, podcasts ruining it for people.
Yep.
As they ruin everything. Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's always a lot of pressure to kind of like just get it all out and you're kind of rushing through it and you're like kind of like you have to go and do something else, but you leave the show on so you can just get through it,
Yeah,
kind of thing. Like this,
absolutely, yeah.
for me, this definitely gave me a chance to like enjoy episodes, and if I missed something, I could wind it back.
Yes.
Whereas in
you went
previous,
just like, I just
just
go.
gotta care. Doesn't matter what people say in
I
this
felt
show.
like that about the Marvel Netflix stuff
Yeah,
in
yeah.
particular.
Yeah.
Especially because that was 12. Supposed to
But
this being
apparently,
8.
like the very idea of a surprise was not appealing to a lot of people who apparently review bombed this like
Yes.
quite badly because they were like, "How dare they only bring out 3?"
So it was 3 initially, wasn't
Yes,
it?
it
And
was,
then and then the additional.
But I
5.
really liked it.
Yeah, no, I agree.
Especially in these strange times.
Yeah.
I think it was something to look forward to every week.
I think
and
it's-
we only had to wait 5 more weeks.
Yeah,
it
exactly.
wasn't like
And I think the idea of it's smart for the company to do it this way
Yeah.
because you then get to you keep it in the public eye.
Yeah.
You know, often with I think they probably learnt that from maybe The Mandalorian.
Yeah.
You know, you've got the people talking about Baby Yoda every week for however many episodes of that show there was.
And again, it's, as a show where like one of the characters is like, very dependent on memes to build her popularity and kind of
Yes.
thing. This literally does give the show time to build memes. Like if you watch 8 in a row, and you're a prevalent meme maker, or you want to like, oh my
it's
God, I
me.
love this part of the show and I want to make like there's so much that'll get lost. Like if you have to make 50 memes, they're all
Yeah.
going to get lost in the shuffle. But this gives you a meme maker time to breathe. You know
Absolutely.
what I mean?
The meme makers of the world.
Yeah.
I'm imagining him like an old school woodworker, like Geppetto.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah,
but
yeah.
memes.
Just a bit of soft focus, bit of Vaseline on the lens, and they're just looking at their meme from every angle, and just like lightly blowing the sawdust off their meme that they've just finished on Illustrator or whatever.
Absolutely.
That also something that I thought was quite smart about this, and we can jump right to the end here.
Sure.
I thought it was quite smart, especially the finale. It really does mostly wrap everything up in a neat little package.
Yeah, see,
it could be a series finale this season and this last episode.
I agree, but I had another question for you. I'd liked how it all wrapped up, and I liked how they gave certain characters closure, or even left like gaping open wounds, metaphorically or literally. Where that did it feel a little status quo returny at the end?
Not really, no, because I mean there were
major consequences and characters moved on.
And if anything, there's more internal turmoil in terms of like the Seven, where like by episode 6 or 7 of this, Homelander was like fully prepared to kill most members of the Seven.
Yeah.
But now they've all been brought back together.
Yeah.
And that the outward status quo is the same. Like, A-Train is back and Maeve is back and Starlight is back. In the Seven, but obviously Homelander knows that they basically all betrayed him, and they all
and including the company.
and he is ready on a hair trigger to kill every single person, but now he knows there are so many consequences that he can't do that anymore.
Yeah.
So like outwardly, it's like, oh yeah, the status quo is back, like the Justice League is back together, but it could explode at any moment. But I look as soon as this episode ended, I looked it up and like. The season 3, it was renewed for season 3 like in July.
It was before this came out.
Yeah, but it's entirely possible, like Glow, who got one episode in and had to cancel it, that they might, and not to be too much of a downer, but they might be like, okay, we got to film season 3, but they
when and how,
and how they're going to do it.
There's a lot of crowd stuff. Which they probably can't do now.
Yeah, and like are they going to have to change it up and change the filming style, bring in the Mandalorian style rooms or whatever.
Yeah.
And it literally might be the way of like, okay, well, so many people have to go and do other work and animation and all that sort of stuff. They may not do it. So I feel it's quite smart that they went, okay, let's not end. I mean, there are loose ends and there's a cliffhanger of sorts and that sort of stuff. But the idea of like, various characters got their comeuppance and characters who needed to be saved got saved and all this sort of stuff. And it really feels like they went, if this is the end, like if we don't get another season, this will be it. And you can kind of be like, well, imagine what would happen after this.
It kind of, I guess, reminded me of another Amazon show, like The Tick. That kind of wraps up after 2 seasons, but it does. I wish that kept going. I really love The Tick.
For sure. Yeah.
But yeah, it did. I think maybe if The Tick came out now, it probably would keep going.
Yeah.
If The Tick came after this and there's another superhero show on Amazon, people might go, and it's, Tick's a mate. Have you seen The Tick?
I love The Tick,
It's really great. I think it was also interesting that the tension managed to build really well, and I guess they did, and they really broke it at the end and took out a lot of those elements, in particular Stormfront. Because it starts, they're on the run and whatever, but by the end you just casually see just like military rolling in the streets. It's not even, there's not like a conversation about it, and everyone's just going about their day. But it's, I thought that was really interesting that. And even adding things like the super terrorist school shooter PSA in the final episode.
Yeah, right.
And I was watching some behind the scenes stuff because there's an after show.
And the guy who kind of gets radicalized by the memes.
Yeah, exactly.
And just decides to shoot somebody because they had a glint in their eyes or whatever.
Which we have seen in real life.
Yeah.
And speaking of, this after show with Aisha Tyler hosts, you can watch it if you've got Amazon, it's on there.
Oh, I haven't watched that yet, no.
I only watched the last one just before we did this. But Carl Urban talks about how there's like the school shooting aspect and how he talked about how he was going to move his family to the States, but the thing that meant that he didn't was because he didn't like the idea of his kids walking through a metal detector.
Yeah, right.
And look, I'm sorry to get political on this show that's obviously transparently political, but I think this does...
No, it just lasers out of your eyes, man. There's no politics
But I think it does look at these things, I wouldn't say in a very subtle way in particular, but it is tackling these things that are prevalent in...
Yeah, I felt
that we
like...
see in society,
I felt the last couple of episodes, like the political and the social commentary, like ramped up. Like it really they really put the pedal to the metal, as it were.
It's just interesting to see that could have, I mean, obviously it was shot probably last year.
Yeah.
But it's just like right now, releasing that right now was like, that is just like you couldn't really nail it more in terms of like where we're at. So Huey and Starlight take a bit of a step back in this season. The first season is very Huey focused because obviously his girlfriend is killed by A-Train and Starlight's coming up in the 7 and all that kind of thing. Which I didn't mind because then you get characters like Kamiko kind of get a bit more play. And it seems like
we get a Frenchie like centric episode.
That was cool as well. I really like him, But so I guess we're due for like a Mother's Milk kind of episode because we haven't really had that one.
That's true.
Maybe there was in season 1. I don't really remember.
Okay,
we get like a bit of his family, but we don't.
Yeah.
And they've obviously got that history. But to me, a lot of this series it's like redemption all around.
Yes.
Because you got like the Deep and A-Train who are both out of the 7 for very different reasons, trying to make their way back to this weird Scientologist cult. Sorry to get political again. but then you've got like the Lamplighter episode or episodes. I think there's 2. I think he's only in 2. What do you think of that, by the way, of using Iceman as like the pyro character?
Bit of a bloody subversion of expectations, if you ask me.
Yeah.
You did, and I said it. So cool, right.
He's a good inclusion. I also thought he was a character that we'd get for a while. And then they just...
Oh, yeah, then they just... Yeah, well, that's the thing. Like this,
also, he's not fireproof, interestingly.
Weirdly,
it turns out,
Yeah, and again, it's that situation where they've deviated enough from the comic books where at this point anyone can die.
Like they gender swap characters.
I'm sort of amazed that all the boys made it through till...
Yeah, it's kind of incredible. Well, I'd forgotten that Kamiko had that healing factor.
Right, yes.
Because did that happen this series or it must have been the last series? I think Black Noir stabbed her. Is that right? That was this series, right?
I can't remember.
Yeah. Anyway, doesn't matter. Anyway, whatever it was, I'd forgotten that. At that point in the series, and then you get like Queen Maeve. Like you've got the story about her sexuality, which works into that Justice League knockoff, which we'll talk about that movie that they're making. And on the back of that, her redemption is coming to terms with like the terrible plane incident from the first season.
Yeah,
it's obviously affecting her, and Homelander's just like, you'll kill 100 people in a heartbeat. And then I think this also managed to humanize Homelander in a way that you're almost like, is he totally... I mean, he's totally awful.
Yes.
But there's like glimmers of... Like when you meet his like surrogate father, the doctor who raised him, he talks about how he was kind when he was a child and they'd read Davy Crockett together, or whatever the fuck it was. And then when you see him with his son and he actually... like gets through to him and talks to him.
He's trying,
and he actually, there's a moment where he does connect and he's like, we're the only 2 people like this in the world.
Yeah, right.
And I didn't have me, but you have me.
Yes, the worst man in the world.
Worst man in the world. But from the perspective of he didn't know how to use his powers, he's out there just flailing, trying to make it work.
Yeah, right. And there's even a moment where like he and Stormfront are talking to the kid and she's like, you should really, you need to use your powers because there are people who hate you for the color of their skin. And Homelander's like, you have gone too far here. Like even for me, an insane man, this has gone too far.
Because I think at the end of the day, what it comes down to for Homelander, he's not a racist. He hates himself.
Yeah.
And he wants to be loved.
He hates,
he's probably also a racist.
Yeah,
he's all those
like
things.
He hates himself and he wants to be loved, but he also hates every other. He hates every aspect. He wants to be loved on a personal level, but he's only loved on like a media level. Like he's got fans and paparazzi and all that sort of stuff, but he hates all of that. He just wants to have a meaningful relationship, but he can't because he can't relate to normal human beings and he's a lunatic. So
yeah, exactly. So I thought, that was, I don't remember from the comics. Is he got a kid in the comics?
I don't
think he does.
No.
Yeah, I might be wrong.
Okay.
But yeah, anyway, I think that's a really interesting element. And it also, I think, speaking of that redemption thing, which I've been bloody banging on about.
Oh, yes.
That like circles round to Butcher because he's pretty awful, but you also find out about his past, and his past doesn't just come from Homelander murdered my wife, which is what he thought had happened.
Yes.
It's beyond that, because if you take that away, and they were talking about this in the after show, if you take away that Homelander murders his wife, why is he like that then? Like if you return that to him and present a different version of events, suddenly why is he so angry? And the way that they went, well, it was his family and, his brother died and his father's awful. And I think they did a good job of going, No, he's awful not just because of this. This goes
Yes.
beyond just this one guy that he hates.
Yeah.
Like this is
You can
something
still,
he's growing with.
unlike Homelander, you can still have a family, but they're an awful family, and that this is what happens to you.
Yeah, exactly. Do you think they did the right thing in terms of storytelling to have the kid go off with, the government as opposed to him raising it?
I guess so. Yeah.
Yeah. He's probably not equipped to do it.
No.
But did you? Yeah, but an interesting choice though to kind of kill off the mother and then
right.
go in that way. How did you take like her death? How did that present to you?
I didn't like it.
No, obviously, but I mean, I took it as when he lasered her, she injured her as he was. I don't think the kid killed her.
No, I think it. I mean, I'm sure it was meant to be very ambiguous, but I felt like it looked. I think I think the idea was that Ryan, who's the kid, killed Stormfront with the heat vision, and then in her death throes, she closed her hand too tight around the Becca's neck, and
that's
so
what
she
I took
died.
from it.
Yeah.
But so Stormfront in the comic though as well is a dude, right? He's a Nazi dude.
Yes, he is. Yeah.
I think it was a really. I know I liked I liked most of the changes they make, and I think this one worked really, really well.
Uh-huh.
And having him be like the one person that kind of Homelander could relate to is a Nazi. You know what I mean?
Yeah, right.
And I feel like also the only reason that she really likes him is because he's blonde and he's a Superman. You know what I mean? Which is like he's the Nazi like ideal poster boy. You know what I mean? And that's why she likes him.
Yeah.
Because you see her give like looks to like A-Train and things like that, where you can see there's just that simmering content.
Yeah.
That's like barely under the surface. But then spinning that as like this social media wizard, I thought was really, really interesting because that you couldn't just have like
that's how they do it in real life.
That's what I'm talking about.
Sorry to get political.
Sorry to
everyone.
get political on this show that's obviously political all the time, but that's how you would come at it. You couldn't just have a guy fly down with a swastika on his chest. I mean, I know a lot of people would probably also like that.
They'd be like, he's not a real. He hasn't said I am a Nazi.
Yeah,
so
exactly.
Who's to say if he really is one?
I know. I think those changes are really, really interesting. Yeah. Justice League parallels.
Go on.
So there's a few, and BVS.
Yeah.
So they're filming a movie that's called Dawn of the Seven.
Yes.
I don't know if you noticed, Mason.
Oh, go on.
But there's clever parallels to Justice League.
We should write a clickbait article about it.
We absolutely should. It was what was it? So they talk about how they say Joss has done the rewrites on this new version.
Oh, yeah, that's right. Yeah.
Working around Queen Maeve's coming out story, and everybody involved in it hates it and all those kinds of things. But I also thought that courtroom scene was very that's like ripped from Batman v Superman.
Oh yeah, right.
Maybe I've misinterpreted that, but just that this like horrific event unfolding around like a Superman.
Yeah, right.
But it's obviously as it always is in the show, it's heads exploding and people like bursting like a bag of blood.
And the difference obviously is that Homelander just isn't doing anything. He's just like, this is curious what is happening now currently.
Yeah, that's it. But the finale.
You go on.
This is like, would you say this is a relatively, it's not an action-heavy show. I think I said this last season, but it does a good job of disguising the budget.
Yeah, because there's not really any room for like a knockdown, drag-out fight between super-powered people because there's so few of them.
Yeah. And
they're mostly on the side of corporations.
Yeah.
So it's normally them just leveling buildings and killing innocent people. So there's not that many action sequences. It's more just Homelander lasering a guy in half.
Yeah,
and
exactly. And then flying away.
Yeah.
But I really loved the end. The three of them circling Stormfront and just kicking the shit
laying
out
into
of
it. Yeah.
I enjoyed that quite a lot. I just thought that was a good coming together. That's the real Justice League, Mace, is what I'm saying.
Yeah.
That being said, like that scene in Avengers Endgame, why would there be four women in the same place?
Oh
at the
my
same
God,
time?
I cannot imagine it.
It's pandering, Mason, is what I'm saying.
Statistically impossible is what I'm saying. Yeah.
In case this becomes a video, I don't really think that. But just so
and also
know.
like that they had to improvise on their feet because obviously Frenchie gives the game away and reveals that
why did he yell that?
The EMP rocket launcher that may have killed her permanently.
Yeah.
He's like, it's in the car, and then she just blows the car up kind of thing.
She had a pretty horrific death though. That's some
Or is she dead?
Maybe not, yeah.
Because she seemed like we didn't
They did say apprehended, didn't they? But
yeah. And I mean, again, like, who's to say if that is enough to kill her if she won't come back in some respect?
Yeah.
Like she could, Kimiko can come back from a broken neck.
Yeah, I mean, her being as old as she is,
Yeah.
I wonder if it's like she probably can't grow the limbs back, but she must have some kind of regenerative factor that counteracts her aging.
Or she can. Like maybe
she can.
Yeah. Or she can. That's right.
Like, does she lose that eye permanently? She could come back with an eye patch. People do that, don't they?
Yeah. That was a nice surprise that she's not knife proof in the eye.
In the eye, it turns out. Yeah, absolutely. In the future of this, it sets up a few things.
Yes.
One of them being, I guess, like an AOC-esque character.
Yeah, Victoria Newman.
Who's a dude in the
in the comic books, she is, or it's Victor Newman, but it's a completely different character in the sense that I think he works for Vought for a bit, but he's also he becomes the vice president. But he's like most of the characters in The Boys who are in any position of authority, he's a total idiot.
Yeah, right.
Like he's an idiot and he's very easily manipulated and blah blah blah.
Yeah.
And then as soon as he's not useful anymore, Homelander kills him.
Okay, right.
So it's that again. Like I'm very appreciative that this series went pretty far out from the comic books because.
Yeah.
One, that gives us more surprise if you have watched the comic books. And two, most of the characters in the comic are just kind of dumb-ass caricatures. And they're kind of
even like your Homelander. He's not.
Yeah, like there's
he gets beat up more in the comics.
Yeah, there's no room. There was no room in the comic books for like the deeper A-Train to have any kind of like redemptive arc or like.
No.
They're all just the
They're
worst.
all irredeemable in every or dumb.
Yes.
Or both.
Yeah.
It turns out, yeah.
But so in this, and he's all in the comic books, the Victor is just a guy. I'm pretty sure. But in this, the big reveal is that all the head exploding drama in the second last episode was the result of Victoria Newman, who is a soup.
What do you think that's going to lead to?
Also, I think that was added at the end, maybe. Like I think that was.
The thing that she was like, it was her all along.
Because prior to, do you remember the episode where they went to the hospital and they to get out Lamplighter, or to just to investigate and etc. There's a woman with a shaved head who can explode people.
And there's also a liaison in like the first episode who gets her head exploded, remember?
Oh, right. Okay, well then maybe it was always. But that's the thing, like at the end of that, and then at the end of the hospital episode, that woman escapes and like you see her hitchhiking to town. And I was under the impression that the reveal was going to be that she is still out there.
Yeah, right.
Just wreaking havoc. But
having a good old time.
I think maybe they were like, we need a little more
juice.
We need a little more juice for the next season.
Yeah.
We need a little something. And they're like, how about we just say she's
How about she explodes the guy from ER, his head?
Yeah,
he's an ER, isn't he?
George Clooney?
No, the guy she explodes at the end.
Oh, maybe.
Is he?
I don't know.
Remember the show ER?
Vaguely.
Went for 1 million years.
I didn't. No,
they did so many surgeries.
You're thinking of Grey's Anatomy?
I might be. What do you think they're then going to do with her in the next season?
Good question.
Like, do you think it's going to be like she's flat out evil? Do you think there's going to be what do you like?
Well, what's her end game?
Yeah, well, that's what I mean.
Yeah.
Like, because you don't really get an idea of like the values that she presents.
Yeah,
aren't necessarily things that she believes in, or maybe she believes in to the extreme where she's willing to do. Or maybe
it's literally just that Vogelbaum, who's the head of, or the former head of Vought, maybe he was just going to reveal that she is also.
Oh, okay.
Maybe in the hearings he was going to be like, surprise, she has superpowers. She's part of this.
Yeah.
And she just didn't want that to be revealed. So she just wants to keep her political career, so she just killed everybody.
So I took that as just creating more chaos. But you might be right. That makes sense because he would have an idea of who's got it.
Yes.
You'd think at that point.
Yeah.
Also, speaking of the future,
yes.
This kind of ends with...
Also, that's a very specific power. You can just explode people's heads.
It might be like another thing that you can also do that with.
I guess, yeah.
Because, Sue Storm can explode people's heads.
I hope it's just exploding people's heads.
Yeah, but you know what I mean? Like
nothing else.
Sue Storm can do it with force field bubbles or whatever. So it's probably another thing as well.
Yeah. But again, I really hope we get another season. We're getting Jensen Ackles in it as
Soldier Boy. Yeah. So from the comic book, he's a guy who he's one of those dumb guys, but he's presented to the media as this guy who fought in World War II, this Captain America-esque character.
Yeah.
But he's like the third version.
Oh, I see. Right.
But apparently the version they're bringing in, Eric Kripke said this as a showrunner, he's the very first superhero. So he's the same guy. So I wonder whether are they going to do because the way they described him is humor, pathos, and danger. And I wonder whether they're going to make him more Captain America than awful. Like maybe he's patriotic to a fault, or maybe he's just awful. I don't know.
Maybe there's a big tease and he's killed in the first episode.
Yeah, well, it could be it as well.
His head,
You're
or
absolutely
they set him
right.
on fire, Sean Ashmore style.
Yes, right, exactly.
Yeah, again, who bloody knows with this show, you know?
Who does bloody knows at this point,
Yeah.
And the other thing is this sets up, the way this ends is kind of where the comic starts. Because in the comics,
Yeah.
they've
always been a team.
They've always been a team.
They've always been a secret government team
Yeah.
designed to put together to keep an eye on the boys and to keep an eye on the superheroes and make sure they're not stepping out of line.
Yeah.
And now they're finally doing that in this.
Exactly.
So, yeah.
And I just also wanted to quickly talk about the spin-off series, which we now know is based off the G-Men, which is like their version of the X-Men, where it's a school run by a pedophile.
I would have called it the girls. And it's the girls.
Oh,
You know
yeah, the
those
girls.
girls.
Look at all these
I would have called
girls.
it the statistically unlikely girls all in a room.
But yeah, so it's
Brackets, it's just pandering.
it's again, there's like a Professor X, but he's awful at a pedophile and
Oh,
runs a
great.
school. So it's that. But I don't know whether they do that.
Yeah, right.
I think they're doing like teen drama, but some are awful and some aren't.
Okay,
Because
right,
I guess the one of the big differences between the show and the comics are some of the superheroes are not all awful.
Yes.
And some are good-ish.
Yeah, I guess so, yeah.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
To an you get someone like Queen Maeve who kind of comes around, but then you get Starlight who's been mostly trying to be good throughout the entire
right.
thing. Yeah. All in all, what would you give The Boys season 2 out of 2 seasons of The Boys? How many
Both
episodes
seasons of
would-
The Boys.
Wow, that's really good.
Maximum boys.
Maximum boys. Are you
Maximum boyage.
Yeah, sure. But no girls, right?
No girls.
Because it's pandering, obviously.
boys.
Yeah, that's right. So no, I'm really looking forward to season 3. I wonder when they're going to.
Well, I'm looking forward to season 4, so guess I'm a bigger fan than you.
You're a bigger fan than me. What can I say?
Sorry.
But I do wonder when they're going to make. Make it. I know things are opening up again.
Yeah.
But
Look, my hope is they embrace the inside of the Mandalorian style. I don't know if that is proprietary technology that Disney will not give away for $1 billion.
I think they're building studios that other people.
Yeah, right.
It's a big screen. It's easy.
Yeah, it's true. I guess it
Just
is.
get tape a bunch of televisions together.
Yeah,
mate.
yeah.
You'll be fine.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like in The
And,
Dark Knight.
They're all actors. They're good at acting.
They're all actors and they're good at acting, exactly.
So,
It's really, if you watch like interviews with them all, it's very upsetting seeing them all different.
Yeah, right.
Like I'm so used to Carl Urban's Cockney accent now.
Yeah.
Even though I've seen interviews of him before, it's weird seeing him in the full Billy Butcher, but talking.
And
with a New
sometimes
Zealand
covered
accent.
in blood or whale guts or something.
But like Homelander with like, dark hair, and he's quite nice, and he's like having a fun time.
And he doesn't have the mystery things
have
in his cheeks.
What's going on there?
Why has nobody asked him?
Is he Brandoing it? Like doing the cotton buds in there?
Yeah, maybe.
I don't know.
Or it's dentures?
Sometimes you don't see it as well. It was really prevalent at the end in the press conference.
Uh-huh.
I don't know, Mason.
Is it an acting technique?
Could be acting.
Yeah, it could be acting.
Do you know anything about acting?
No.
Oh, I was going to ask you then.
No, I wouldn't have the answer.
Anyways, we'll see you next after this segment, won't we?
Yeah.
Yeah, what's the segment called?
It's called What We're Reading.
What we're going to read.
That's right.
Let me punch that in right now for you.
Is that right in for me and for everyone, for the listeners?
Boom.
Shakalaka.
Yes, that's right.
Mm-hmm.
I'm doing the thing. What are we reading today? Mason, I can see you're furiously scrolling through
I
your
don't know what I watched
Comixology.
this week. I don't know what I watched this week.
Did you watch The Quick and the Dead?
No, I didn't. Did you watch The Quick
Yeah, I
and the
did.
Dead?
I talked about Unsuggestible. That movie's sick.
Yeah.
Well, listen to my less successful podcast if you want to hear me talk about it.
Okay.
I was also going through my list.
Yes.
I found I've read this a while ago, but I'll talk about it now if I haven't already.
Go on.
The Books of Doom. You ever read the Books of Doom?
Oh, yeah. Is that the series? It's Doctor Doom.
Yes.
Is it? He's in a. Is
Ed
he lost?
Brubaker.
Is he lost in a alien world? Or something. He's got to
No,
get back to Earth.
That might be a different book.
It is, yeah.
But it's
Yeah.
the one where it talks about him growing up and meeting the Fantastic Four and becoming technologically savvy and scarred. Magician and all of those things and trying to get his mother back from hell and how he eventually takes over as the leader of Latveria and all those things.
Yeah, right.
It's like 4
And
issues.
is it from his? It's from from his
All
perspective.
from his perspective.
Is it?
Although there's a bit of a twist at the end, and you're like, whoa.
Wow.
But it's from 2011, so it's
Yeah.
older now. It's not
So
that old.
is it skewed? Is it like this fool Reed Richards? He doesn't know what.
Yeah,
he's
there's a
talking
lot of that
about.
kind of stuff, and like this is everybody else's fault but me.
Of course, yeah,
I only
yeah.
love my mother.
Yeah.
You know what he's like.
Yeah.
But again, it's one of those things with like what's really real because it's from his perspective, and you know what I mean. So, but it's definitely worth checking out. Have you found anything? You've been furiously
looking through all my stuff, man. I've been watching The Boys.
You've been flicking over to Netflix to see what's going on.
Yeah.
Have you watched Huey's Halloween Can't Lose or whatever it's called?
What?
The new Adam Sandler
No. Oh, Hubie Halloween or whatever.
Yeah.
No, I don't know
It's
why
got
I would watch
Ben
that.
Stiller reprises his role as that mean orderly with a handlebar mustache
Oh.
from Happy Gilmore, maybe?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Did you watch Cobra Kai?
No.
Did you start to watch the movie Centurion like I did with Michael Fassbender?
What did he think of it?
I mean, he's in it. Mason, I don't
You didn't
know
turn
him
to him on the
personally.
couch because you watched
No, I
Centurion
don't
with
know
Michael
him.
Fassbender.
No, Mason,
and you looked
I
over
don't
to the
know
couch
him.
and where he was there and he said, Michael Fassbender, what do you think of this movie? Because I'm watching the movie Centurion with you, Michael Fassbender.
You know he only visits on the every second week.
That's right.
That's when I get Michael Fassbender.
That's when you get your
The
Michael
divorce.
Fassbender privileges.
You didn't watch Ratchet.
No, why would I watch Ratchet? I don't need to know.
Because apparently it's fine.
I don't need to know.
You didn't watch The Duchess.
No.
Birds of Prey is now on Netflix. Did you
I
watch
might
that
watch
again?
The Gentleman again. It's a
Good movie.
I enjoyed it when it came out.
yeah,
Yeah,
man. That's one of, I think it's one of Guy Ritchie's best.
There you go.
I mean, I love Aladdin,
yeah.
but I think it's better than Aladdin.
Is it better than what? So when did you see it? You saw it quite recently.
I saw it maybe a couple months ago. Yeah.
I'm going to watch Lovecraft Country is what I'm going to watch
yeah, you
this
should
week. 'Cause I
watch
haven't
that.
had a chance to watch it, but I'll watch it when I get home.
I'm only 3 or 4 in. Yeah, I need to catch up on that as well.
Yes.
Yeah. Very. If you've been watching the news though, mate, you bloody look outside and you bloody.
Bit of bloody Lovecraft
bloody-
Country out there.
seems
There's
like fictional bloody dramas going
bloody
on.
pod people out there, I reckon. It's the bloody, you know.
It's latest time.
No, I'm trying to think of a single H.P. Lovecraft novel that isn't Call of Cthulhu, so I could reference it. Something about
Mountains of
Innsmouth.
Madness.
Mountains of Madness. It's bloody Mountains of Madness. There's bloody Mountains of Madness out there, James.
Very good.
Yes.
I should have come in with that joke.
Yep.
As opposed to let you take it
No,
from me.
you put it on the table and I took it off the table.
That's because
and
I'm
sucked in, idiot.
a great co-host. We build each other up.
Yeah. I've got a big list of stuff that I've got to get to.
What do you got?
But
Well, this is also what we gonna read,
that's
isn't it?
true. But it's also like a list of restaurants that I'm going to visit when lockdown is over.
And you don't want people to come and visit you?
Exactly,
And
that's
but
right.
no, you hang out with our fans all the time, don't you?
Oh, no, I do. Yeah,
That's
yeah.
because
But
we'd
I don't
say
want to
that.
spoil the surprise.
Okay, sure, yeah.
Actually,
yeah.
you know what? Something I read this week. Speaking of, because we did a lot of stuff on Judge Dredd.
You read some Dread stuff.
No, I actually read some other 2000 AD stuff. I read a series called it's 2 like single issue like volumes, and it's called The Vigilant, and it's basically in like the 80s and 90s. There was a bunch of like British superheroes.
Yeah, it's coming back in 2021 apparently.
Oh, good. And there's a guy called the writer Simon Furman who he wrote a lot of like British Transformers comics in the 80s, and he's done a lot of
You love those.
Yeah, and he's done a lot of more recent Transformers stuff. But basically in the 80s, like in all the various like kids comics magazines, there were a bunch of superheroes. Like various odd characters like the leopard from Lime Street, who was a young boy who gained superpowers when he was scratched by a radioactive leopard in the London Zoo.
Why did he let that happen to him?
I don't know, what a dumbass.
How did
right?
they irradiate the leopard?
I don't remember. But
of
anyway, there's a
questions.
whole bunch of. There was like a character called. There was Pete's Pocket Army, who was a little kid, and he had like these aliens visited him, and they were like, they were a little.
We'll kill people for you.
Exactly. There was Commander Steele, who's like a robot, but he only took orders from like this really lazy army private kind of thing. There's all these characters who were in like their separate universes, and these series are basically like, what are they up to now? And they put them together in a team. Which it's real good. I don't know.
So,
It's a real nostalgia trip for me, James,
but
personally.
was it a nostalgia thing where you're like, this is still good and I like it?
No, but it's actually genuinely good, generally.
That's
Anyway,
always nice,
they're
isn't
real,
it?
Yeah, real.
When you go back and you're like, oh,
I had
what a
a bunch
relief.
of good fun with those, so track them down if you can.
I can't actually, but I'll.
Why can't you? But James, why can't you?
I don't. Hard copies?
What I did actually is I read the digital copy of the first one, and then the digital copy of the second one, and I ordered a copy of the print version of the second one just because I liked it.
That's cool.
I'm gonna
That's a good way to support.
Yeah, if you go to 2000ad.com, they can see. And the shipping to Australia was like $5.
That's amazing.
Right?
You're basically making money.
I'm making money.
You should send them more money.
Yeah, I should know. But yeah, I read those and they're really good. And the art's really good. Check it out. I maybe this week read them. Let me know if they make any sense to you at all.
I mean, I'm
Because
busy.
they're not.
Why don't you send me a copy?
Okay.
And I'll thumb through them, licking every page.
Great. Crack the spine on them. Really.
Do they have them on Comixology? They probably
think
do,
so,
right?
yeah.
Yeah. Okay, I'm just looking through the news. I feel like I missed
Or
something.
if not, you can just buy them on 2008, like the digital edition
Yes.
for like $4 or something.
Cool,
like
cool,
that.
cool. Do I need a specific app?
Nope.
Perfect.
Just send them to you. I think they email them to you.
Love it. I love what that's about.
Yeah.
All right, should we do the next segment
Let's
of the
do
show?
letters.
The classic one was letters, oh letters, we love you. Some letters, they're only a day away. I know they're here right now. We're gonna do letters.
Go on, James.
I didn't do it.
You didn't do anything. It's true.
If you do want to reach the show, hashtag Weekly Planet Pod on Twitter or Weekly Planet Pod at Gmail. Mason, I took a dip into the Gmail earlier this week to see how many emails you got, and you got some emails.
Yeah.
What do you think?
Oh, also, according to I put this out on the Twitters. Question for the pod: is this from something? The picture of the.
Oh yeah,
it is from Dredd.
The movie Dredd from 20. So this guy's just doing Dredd stuff.
Yeah. Oh no, it's from Judge Dredd.
So it is original Dredd.
It's original Judge Dredd. Yeah. The good Reverend on Twitter said it's from Judge Dredd, and he's put up a little picture of it at some sort of car show. Maybe it's a movie car show. It's surrounded by like velvet ropes.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
and now it's just in some dude's yard.
But he's repainted it, I guess, because now it's the photo I have here is it's red. It's the one in the yard has red trim on it. This version doesn't.
Show me the one. Show me the original one.
Okay.
As it looked in the.
So there's the one in the yard.
Yep.
And there's the one at the car show.
Yeah, I see it. So I reckon he's tried to make it look more
Dredd.
More Dredd.
Yeah.
Did it fill you with great dread?
No, James, it's a car. I don't fear any cars. I don't fear cars. All right. I don't fear cars.
You don't fear car nor man.
That's right.
Very good. Bit of news that we missed.
What's that?
Bloody.
Yes, go on.
What's his name? Benedict Cumberbatch is in Spider-Man 3 From Home.
Oh, and do you mean? Oh yeah, Doctor Strange. Yes.
Yes.
Yes, he's going to be in that. Yeah.
I hope it's not as a mentor and more as mates.
Yeah, because they're a couple of New York boys.
Yeah, but also like he's had enough mentors. I actually
Exactly.
just rewatched
Spider-Man 3. Still looking for that new dad.
Yeah, I watched Spider-Man 2.
Yes.
Far From Home. It's good, man. It's good.
I agree.
It's good. I hadn't seen it since we saw it at the cinemas.
Yeah.
And it's on Prime or one of them for free.
Yeah.
And well, you know, you pay for it, whatever. You know what I mean?
I get
but
it.
no, I really enjoyed it. It's a good Spider-Man movie. I know there is like the criticism of like he's relying on everybody else all the time.
Yeah.
But it's still, I think it still holds up very much on its own.
That's true.
And that's what we call filling in the gaps of the news segment.
That's right. If you want to say hello to us, you can go to weeklyplanetpod@gmail.com or get a hold of us on
Mason.
Twitter.
I already did
I'm doubling down on it.
Double down.
That's right. This is from Keaton.
Keaton.
Hello, James and Mesa. I've been listening to the pod for nearly a year and have listened to enough episodes to hear about the frequent unfortunate accidents folks have allegedly endured while listening and driving. Well, I'm writing to let you know that the opposite happened to me today. As I was driving back home from work today, I received an acceptance email from my dream law school while listening to the pod. It feels like I achieved one big step towards my dream of being a judge, red, and I added that for colour. And you guys were right there with me. Cheers, and here's to hoping I one day become the official judge of the Weekly Planet podcast.
Oh, judge.
And you know he's a law-talking guy because he said the frequent unfortunate events folks have, brackets, allegedly.
Oh, very good.
He's a law guy to his bones.
He speaks our language.
Congratulations, Keaton. That's very exciting.
It is very exciting.
Yes.
Congratulations on not being horribly injured. Also, I've got a tweet here, Mason. It's from JC Fox, hashtag Weekly Planet Pod. That's how you do it.
Go on.
I'm just tripling down. I think studios have ultimately hurt themselves more by delaying their releases. Sure, they will lose hundreds of millions now, but if 80% of the theaters go under, they stand to lose billions. Thoughts? I understand that because that's the dilemma in opening anything. You know what I mean? You could potentially collapse or,
succeed wildly.
Or keep it open.
Yeah.
And people get sick, or also people don't go. And I think the problem with the theaters is, even though a lot of them are opening, people aren't going to the theaters.
Yeah, I wouldn't go.
I wouldn't go.
I wouldn't go.
Now. But I understand it is that fine line of like, what do you do? Because you can't really do anything until there's a vaccine.
That's true.
You know what I mean? And even then, there's going to be people who won't take it for whatever reason. And a mask's going to become more commonplace. We don't know what this is going to kind of shake out like at the end. I think cinemas were always going to go this way because of home media. But this is just really speeding things along. And we're in this weird limbo where you've got $200 million movies that you don't know what to do with.
Well, I mean, I feel like on the one hand, because of home cinema, going out to the cinema will probably lessen. But I really like the cinema experience and going out and seeing with a bunch of people. But again, you can't. That's not happening right now. I'm not going out there being like, "This is great." I get to. If I was forced into the cinema today, I'd be like, "This is terrifying.
Yeah.
I cannot enjoy this on any level."
I do not want this.
Every popcorn I eat could be my last popcorn.
Exactly.
I want it to be my first popcorn.
You've never had popcorn?
Yeah, that's right.
Wow.
Yeah.
I can't wait for cinemas to open so you can have your first popcorn.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I mean, it's a rock and a hard place. There's no answer right now because we are in this limbo. So I don't I don't know. I think also it's the government's responsibility to bail out businesses in times like this.
Yeah.
That's what surpluses
Don't want to get
are
political.
for. No, I don't want to
Yeah.
get political, but that's and
It's almost like we've paid billions of dollars in taxation for
that's-
years and years
that's
and
what I'm
years.
fucking talking
and maybe
about.
they should give us
and I know
some
also
of that money back. I don't
there
know.
was also you can create money. I know that leads down the road of like, but in communist countries, people are using a wheelbarrow of money to pay for a loaf of bread or whatever. That's not how it works exactly.
Right.
I don't know the specifics of it. Because I'll fuck it up. But do you know what I mean? There are ways to get it done, and I think also you need to look after corporations to an extent, but also individuals is really what you should be looking at.
I should point out for everybody who emails and was like, oh, you guys are getting a little bit political. We're at 1% politics. When we talk like this, we've barely nudged the dial. Like if you got us at 100%, everybody would turn off. Trust us. So just be thankful this is as far as we go.
Yeah, that's not incorrect. We scream at each other before the show literally every week.
If it takes 2 hours to record the podcast, there's an hour of buffer on either side where it's just us screaming about politics. So you don't want that. So...
And I know some people think that they do, but like I don't feel informed enough to do that on like a on like a separate podcast, to do it properly. But yeah, I think the priorities need to be people and stimulus checks and government subsidies, for either for companies to go through to people.
It should all be put on pause and everybody gets enough money to survive.
Yes, exactly.
This is,
and also you could circumvent, and I know it's very simple to say that, but like circumvent companies and go specifically to individuals.
Oh, yeah.
Because then that doesn't always get to the people it should go to.
It's secrets. It never does.
Exactly. That's what I'm talking about.
Let's Here's another email, James. And this is also a little bit political, but here we go anyway. This is from Kyle. It says, tell me what to put on my pants.
Here we go.
Hello, boys. I'm Kyle and have been listening to the pod for a few years now. You boys are one of 2 pods I listen to anymore, so good on you.
What's the other
We
one?
made the cut, it doesn't say, but email in and let us know. So I'm a punk guy and I make patches based on bands and entertainers I like. I want to put a patch for the pod on my pants.
Patch
but
for
I
the
don't
pod
know
on
what
the pants.
Hashtag patch for the pod on the pants. But I don't know what to put, so I may be regrettably asking you to tell me what to put on them. It can be anything you want that you think people will see, and I think I should listen to that podcast. Cheers in advance. Can I be the official Texan and punk of the podcast? Yes, you may. I think you should put hashtag patch for the pod on my pants. Just in a nice, maybe in the Weekly Planet font.
Yeah. Do you think it's too political though?
It's a little bit political, isn't it? Yeah.
Yeah. What's the worst thing you could put on a patch?
Oh,
I don't want to make him
the worst
do
thing
it.
that we've ever said. If anybody has any idea, you know what people should put it on pause, Kyle.
Yeah.
Put a pause on the patch for the pod on your pants. Hashtag those things that I said. People email in. What should it be a logo?
Yeah.
Should it be a thing we've said?
If people want to design something.
Folks, what is the most punk rock thing we've ever said?
Wow.
Yeah. Let us know. We'd appreciate that.
You eating popcorn in a cinema?
That's right.
For the first time?
Yeah.
It's very punk rock.
Very punk rock, yeah. Look, here's one more email.
Love emails.
Speaking of Texas,
hello.
It's from Gabby from Texas. Dear James and Meso, since people write in about bad things that happen while listening to the podcast, I wanted to let you all know, that's how you know she's from Texas.
It's bloody, it's
about
it's
a good
tipping.
thing. I was listening to an episode to relax before a job interview to get my dream job of an epidemiologist.
Whoa.
I just found out I got the job. With that being said, can I be the official epidemiologist of the podcast? I love y'all's content and I look forward to new episodes each week. Yes, you can. Now, if you could get working on that cure, that would be...
Get on it.
Yeah.
We need one by,
That's right.
I think, I don't mean to get political, but didn't Trump promise one in a few weeks?
Well, I meant a cure for you being a dumbass, James.
Whoa!
Yes, I got you, and you were like, "We need one, don't we?" And you're like, "Yeah, we do need one. We need one." I got you.
I didn't think you were talking about that, Mason.
No, but I was talking about that specific cure for you. We need one.
You did get me, and I appreciate it. I appreciate getting got.
Mm-hmm.
This is another tweet from Polar Bear says, I always find myself wanting to watch Blade Runner 2049 if I'm under the weather and need to rest. Do you have any sick day movies/TV shows? Hashtag Weekly Planet Pod.
Ooh.
I think I talk about this in the Dread video, but
Yeah.
Dread is very much a go-to, like put it on while I'm editing.
Yep.
So it's just kind of like, it's on and it's, it's bright and fun. And
For
fun.
me, it's probably maybe the Blues Brothers.
And you do love Blues
It's got
Brothers.
good songs,
Yep.
and again, like It's very relaxing when I'm like, it's the scene where they just drive through a shopping mall and destroy it. It's so relaxing. I
good.
know when everything's coming up, you know.
Yeah, you're a big fan?
Yeah, big fan of that one.
More like Booze Brothers.
What do you mean by that?
I mean, it's you. I got you. No,
Oh,
it's nothing. That's nothing, obviously. So Sanson is a question. We got two that we're gonna do because they kind of work together.
Yeah.
Sanson says, any plans to read the Animorphs graphic novel which comes out? No. I sort of watched it. Did you watch it?
No, I was never an animal because it was a book
It was
series.
books, and then there was, speaking of Iceman, he's one of the Animorphs.
Oh, right. No,
Maybe
I
he
never
was a
watched
wolf
or
or a
read
dog,
any of them.
But aliens gave them the abilities to Animorph. Okay, me neither. And Phil Kim says, have you guys checked out the animated Batman versus Ninja Turtles movie? It's got a lot of charm, unique art direction, and great mashup of two worlds. Definitely a standout among other DC animated films. #Weekly Planet Pod. I have heard that.
Yeah.
I've heard it's really good. I've read some of the comics, but I haven't seen that animated movie yet. Have you seen the
I
animated movie
have not seen
yet?
the animated movie.
Very good. Okay, so all in all, no to
No.
both of those things. Did I do the right thing pairing those together?
Yes, terrific.
Thank
I was
goodness.
I missed the Animorphs series.
Because you were watching Secret World of Alex Mack, obviously.
That's right.
And what did you think?
But I don't know. I don't even know if the Animorphs was my era. I think it might have been
I think it would have been. Let me check.
because it's a scholastic book, right?
Yeah, I didn't read. I
Did
never read the
Americans
books.
get the thing where
You get that.
you got a catalog? You went at school. There was like a catalog that went around, and
Yeah.
then you could beg and plead with your parents, but not really because it was books. But you could be like, "Can I have this book?" And then they would give you a check or something, and you take it to school, and then you would get the book like a few
Yes.
weeks later.
Yeah, they did because there's a YouTuber called Nakey Jakey. He's got a video on the Scholastic Book Fair,
Right.
And like the process of that, and the book would take months, and they were more expensive than getting them. Like
I wouldn't be surprised. Yeah.
and all those kinds of things. Or I don't know, I can't remember what he said in the video, but that's my son literally bought one of these home today. They still do them.
There
He's
you
like,
go.
look at this magazine, and I'm like, what is this? The fuck? So yeah, they're still out there.
Because there used to be a series that was, but I wish I still had them. I don't think I do, but they did briefly a series of books based on video games. It was like Blaster Master and Castlevania. And,
Blaster Master Castlevania.
Yes.
Very good.
Very good. But
Was there an Animorphs one?
there was not an Animorphs.
Was there an Animorphs video game?
Probably.
Let's check.
Almost certainly.
Just quickly also, Animorphs ran from 1998 to 1999, had 2 series.
Oh.
So yeah, I might have been a bit too cool for school by the time that came out to watch it.
Yeah, we were too cool for school.
Let me check if there's a video game.
I mean,
though.
we're too old for school.
We were certainly too old for school despite being at school. Yes,
that's
there
right.
is. There's a video game called Animorphs Know the Secret.
Oh. Is the secret that they can animorph?
Animorphs.
And that's the copy protection of the game. It starts up and it's like, what's the secret? And you're like, they can animorph? Good.
Do you
Good.
remember-
That's also the end of the game.
We should talk. Okay, people I can understand that. Copy protection used to be you'd get a weird catalog or like a booklet with a game with a series of codes. We had one that was Who Framed Roger Rabbit based off the movie, and it had a fake magazine in it.
Yeah.
And then it would give you trivia questions, and you'd have to go to the magazine to find it to get past a certain.
We could do we shouldn't, but we could do a whole episode on copy protection because because back in the day it was just like a couple of 3.5-inch floppy disks or whatever, and anybody could copy those, but.
You got to mark it or whatever.
Exactly. Not everybody had a color photocopier, so you could photocopy the manual, and then you had to put like a weird plastic, like a visor sort of thing, and you had to put it over certain words, and it would tell you what the code word was. For The Secret of Monkey Island, there was a wheel,
Yeah.
and it had like 2 concentric wheels in it, and you had to match up pirates' faces.
You can't copy that, can you? Yeah.
Well, you'd have to photocopy
Yeah.
2 wheels and cut them up and blah blah
I'd
blah.
have seen that.
Yeah, and there was that, and there was some computer games came with like a dongle, like an electronic thing you had to plug into a port, and if that wasn't plugged in, you couldn't play the game.
Oh.
So
I know, like in more recent, like for Batman Arkham, if you downloaded the PC version, it didn't have a certain patch, which means your cape didn't work.
oh, that's right,
And
yeah, so you couldn't glide.
There was one particular point, I think it was a poison gas room.
Yeah, right.
I mean, yeah, we could do a copyright something episode.
Yeah, that's right.
I don't know what it would be specifically, but just like I talk about those copyright ads.
We'll probably just do this.
Just do this really for longer.
Maybe we just it's the same length.
Yeah.
When this ends, that's when the episode ends.
What about write protect on a disc? But that
Turn
didn't
that
work.
little, snap that little
But that
thing
didn't work
over.
the opposite, did it? You couldn't
Yeah.
prevent you from writing
That's
it.
right.
It would prevent you from writing over
What about
it.
putting a bit of sticky tape over a VHS tape? You know,
Wild, man.
wild stuff.
Did you know a guy who had 2 VCRs?
Yeah.
Somebody's dad had 2 VCRs.
Yeah.
Get a good copy of Terminator 2, mate.
Those guys are in jail now.
Those guys are in jail for crimes that they did,
They did
unrelated to VCRs.
Unrelated- Yeah, that's right. But it's the sign. The warning signs are all there.
Exactly,
You know?
yeah.
Yeah, I mean, now they just do the thing where you have to be online all the time, and
Yeah.
if your internet connection drops out for a second, your game locks up. So
Yeah, there is a lot of that going on. Yeah, it is. I feel like the
play
copyright.
it a single player game.
Yeah, it works better for PC stuff.
Yeah.
Because not that I do any of this because it's just beyond me at this point. But
Right.
like if you download a game, then you got to download certain codes. I don't fucking know. You know what I mean? Like certain
Yeah,
programs that you have to run in conjunction with.
Battle.net or whatever.
Yeah, I think I did it to get when I was in Africa. I had no video games and I was going crazy, so I downloaded Jedi Outcast or Jedi Outcast 2, and I had to download like a separate thing to like get it to run.
Oh.
But that was like 10, 12 years ago. That was the last time I did it.
Oh, that's what I'm going to do this week.
Which that was a game I also had, but I didn't have it with me.
Yeah,
It just
right,
went
right.
out,
Yeah. I think I'm probably going to get Bloodborne.
Okay,
And that-
yeah,
which is a game
the new one. Because aren't they rebooting it or something?
Maybe.
Or I don't know. I can't remember.
I'm
Yeah,
just
go
going
on.
to get the old one. 'Cause
Yeah, cool,
a lot of videos that come up on YouTube for me where it's like, this game's amazing and you should definitely play it. I'm like, okay, it looks pretty. I'll give it a whirl.
Okay, isn't it like it's hard though, isn't it? People.
Yeah, well, that's the thing.
Oh, yeah.
It's like
Bloodborne remastered potentially leaked for PS5.
Oh, well, I don't have a PS5, so maybe I'll get the old one for PS4.
Exactly.
Be pretty incredible.
You should.
Plus, you get a blunderbuss.
That's cool,
Right?
I know because every it's hard and people are like get good.
Well, that's the thing.
that
Like,
people say.
it's one of those games where it's like, apparently, it's not that it's hard. It's just you have to
pay attention.
You have to pay attention, and you have to figure out the rhythm.
Yeah.
Because it isn't like a hack slash game. It's like when you hit the attack button,
Parry
your
and roll
character
and-
your character draws their sword
Yeah.
and like pulls back their sword and you sort of commit.
Yeah.
So you can't just be like hammering buttons and stuff. And
Yeah.
I'm a button masher from way back, so I'm gonna buy it because it's like $20 now.
You're going to try and reprogram your brain.
Yeah, that's right.
Impossible. I look forward to your failure.
I look forward to it too.
You're going to make a video on it then? The
Me?
YouTube.
No.
You could be like, you could eat popcorn for the first time / play Bloodborne.
And for every boss I defeat, I get a piece of delicious popcorn.
You'll never get that popcorn.
I'll never get the popcorn. No. No.
Yeah, there's a lot of those like Souls-esque games. I
Yeah.
know. Well, the new Jedi, what's that new game?
Fallen
Fallen
Order.
Order. That's Souls-esque.
Okay, well, I was not bad at that.
Yeah, so there you go.
Yeah, okay.
You might be all right.
Yeah.
Or you'll lose every
I
day.
sort of figured out how to parry in that.
Yeah,
so
yeah, sort of, yeah.
Yeah.
All right, that's the show, isn't
That's
it?
the whole show. Thank you, everybody, so much for listening. I hope everybody's doing all right out there. If you'd like, you can tell a friend.
What are you gonna tell them?
We didn't have that many lies this week about people told lies to people to convince them to listen to the podcast.
Didn't have
But
that
if
many or
if you
none?
we got a couple, but I forgot to look for them. If you'd like to tell people a lie to get them to listen to a podcast, we'd appreciate it. Or just tell people it's a good podcast that you like and say you got some free time. Why don't you listen to this podcast?
Absolutely.
Or you can just subscribe or leave a nice review. James, you got one?
I got a couple of nice reviews here, Mason. I've just brought them up now. This one is from HG6391 $. The heading is podcast, and it says, I mean, what else did you expect? It's a podcast. It's as easy as that.
Short and
Or
to
you
the
could do
point.
like Dave Hooligan, who says, whose subject line is Dave Hooligan from the Bronx. What's up, guys? It's Dave Hooligan from the Bronx, NYC. I absolutely love the Weekly Banner podcast. Look forward to it. Look forward to my Monday morning commute because I have a new episode revved up, ready to go. In a post-pandemic world, I have more free time since I lost my job and look forward to new episodes drop because it gives me a break from the insanity. Oh, sorry about that. Thank you for sincerely making me laugh and continue on trying times. P.S. Any good recommendations on some Australian comedies? Looking to branch out from Dave Hooligan.
Dave Hooligan, more like Dave Gentleman.
Well, like Dave Hooligan feels like a very Australian name.
Yeah,
Well,
but he
it's-
feels like a very NYC guy. This guy's so multicultural.
I bet he's
man.
travelled the
Yeah,
world
yeah.
at least. I think I have a friend called Dave Hooligan, probably.
What's he up to? Australian comedies, did you say?
Yeah, I mean the Castle is like
That's
the
a
go-to,
classic.
right?
That is a go-to. Yeah.
What about some televisual series? Utopia, Rosehaven.
Australian Utopia is
Rosehaven's great.
Yeah, yeah.
Auntie Donna Boys on YouTube and maybe other places soon.
Soon,
Who are
one
we
day
to
soon,
say?
maybe, who
Who are we to
knows?
say? What else? Australian comedy.
Oh.
Mother and Son.
No. Bring up a list real quick of Australian comedies. We'll slowly go around.
How about you do the wrap up and
Oh, okay,
I'll-
terrific.
yeah.
Look, if folks, if you want to get into contact with us, You go to weeklyplanetpod at Gmail, at Twitter, at Facebook, at Bandcamp. You go to planetbroadcasting.com. You can look at all the podcasts on the Planet Broadcasting Network. You can also sign up to the newsletter from the great Rob Collings. He's at Raw Collings on Twitter. He's also at The Weekly Planet on Twitter. I'm Wikipedia Brown on Twitter and Nick Maso, NickMaseeau on Instagram. James, you're Mr. Sunday Movies everywhere.
Everywhere.
If you'd like to support the show, you can go to patreon.com/Mr. Sunday Movies. Chuck in a buck if you would like. We would appreciate that. There's an Amazon affiliate link in the episode description. You can click on that if you want to buy some stuff through Amazon, and that helps us out in some vague way. You can also sign up to bigsandwich.co, where we give you all sorts of extra bonus podcasts and comic book review podcasts, and we do movie commentaries. The Ninja Turtles from 1990 movie commentaries out. We had a lot of fun revisiting that movie.
And there's a clickbait up right now.
Oh, that's
of our
right.
podcast. We got this covered. It's up
good.
right now. There's a new one every Monday.
right.
New something every Monday.
That's right. We've got t-shirts at tpublic.com. Thank you to The Brute and the Basilisk and Aracham for all our musical themes. That's the whole episode, I reckon.
That's right.
Yeah.
And now I've got some strange comedies you might want to be looking at, Mason.
Go on.
People like Kath and Kim. I think it starts good. I think it becomes more samey as it goes.
Watch the American remake. Just kidding. You don't have to.
Just kidding. Don't ever do
Selma Blair's in it, though.
that.
Isn't that wild?
Say that again?
Selma Blair's in it.
Is she?
Yes.
Wow, I did know that.
Yeah.
The Man Who Sued God came up.
Billy
I don't think I've
Connolly.
seen that. Billy Connolly, yeah. Is Strictly Ballroom considered a comedy?
Some people consider it a comedy.
Is Two Hands considered a comedy?
Not really.
It's pretty fun. It's got some
It's
funny
funny,
moments in
isn't
it.
it?
Yeah, I would say that. There's a show Tim Minchin did called Upright, which is sort of a comedy, which is now on. I don't know what streaming it is overseas. It's like 8 episodes. It's more of a dramedy, but it's got some good stuff. And if you like Tim Minchin. Mother and Son, obviously.
A lot of stuff in Australia has to be a dramedy because they won't give them any money
That's true.
if they say it's a straight-up comedy. Yeah.
That is very true. Yeah, a lot of the comedies on YouTube, really. There's other things, obviously.
Just watch an Auntie Donna sketch,
Yep.
and then an hour will pass, and you'll have watched every Auntie Donna sketch.
That's right.
So that's how you do that.
They'd have more than that,
I
wouldn't
think
they?
so. Yeah, probably.
And watch the Eric Bana skits from when he was on Full Frontal, the sketch comedy show from the 90s in Australia.
Yeah, that's right.
Just watch those ones.
Yeah, just watch all those.
And that'll do it.
Yes.
Next week,
Who knows?
fucked if I know. Did I say The Castle? The Castle and The Dish are great
Yeah.
as well.
Yes.
Those are well worth. The Dish has probably got a more of an international flavour. Like a
That's
dish.
right.
But
Yeah.
The Castle's probably more niche, but it's probably funnier.
I think it is, yeah.
Yeah, but it might be a bit more niche.
It's more, yeah, I mean, The Castle is more,
It's more Aussie.
yeah, it is, yeah.
Because The Dish has Patrick Warburton.
That's true, yeah.
Those
The
international.
Tick.
Yeah, that's right.
Not the current Tick, the previous Tick.
Previous Tick. And as we said, next week, who the fuck knows anything?
We'll figure something out, though.
There'll be another presidential debate. We can talk about that.
That's right. Oh, we cranked the politics up to like 10%.
10%, Mason.
Yeah, and then 10% more every week.
We have politics keys and we have to put them in at the same time.
That's right. Yeah.
Yeah, that's it. But I thank you for listening to the show. We really appreciate
That's
it.
right. Get
Sorry
out there and vote, folks. If
Get
you
out
can
and
vote early,
vote,
if you're
yeah.
from America, speaking
Vote
of
if you
politics,
can, yeah.
get out there and vote.
Yeah, in person if you can. If not, well, yeah, that's because there's a pandemic. That's also completely understandable.
That's right.
Next week, I said it. Goodbye. We're going, aren't we? We're going.
Right there, Jimmy, guys. We'll see you next week.
Goodbye.
Bye.
Thanks to Collings for the edit as well.
Thanks, Collings. More than meets the Collings.
Whoa.
Right?
This podcast is part of the Planet Broadcasting Network.
Visit planetbroadcasting.com for more podcasts from our great mates.
I mean, if you want. It's up to you.